Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right, you can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code WEALTH to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code WEALTH for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code WEALTH for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Get the beat of the Bucks straight from a fan favorite and Bucks legend.
Welcome to the fantastic voyage. Marcus Johnson, the captain of this vessel.
Tap into Here District with Marcus Johnson, a Bucks Plus audio production.
My first mate, Chris Johnson, the only father and son tandem.
Your weekly pulse on the Milwaukee Bucks and conversations with the biggest names in basketball. This week on the pod, Marcus and Chris chat with Bucks legend Junior Bridgman. Find Here District now on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, or wherever you get your podcast.
Flooring, carpeting, bath, or kitchen remodeling. Adair is the name Milwaukee has trusted for 65 years. This is Rob Adair. Ready to remodel? Give us a call, 761-3660. Get personal care from Adair, South 27th in Franklin.
Is thinning hair or receding hairline making you feel self-conscious? Try Hair Grow from New Nordic. Stop feeling embarrassed about thinning hair and start feeling your best with Hair Grow.
Built Right, one location saves you money.
You gotta get to Built Right today.
Breaking news as it happens. Stay up to date with your trusted and relevant source in news, sports, traffic, and weather. We are Wisconsin's radio station. News Radio 620, WTMJ, Milwaukee.
At 6 o'clock, I'm Vince Vitrano. This is Wisconsin's Morning News, Thursday, October 10th. Our top story, emergency responders working in the aftermath of Milton.
I'm Erik. Bilstad. Frustration for the president.
I'm Debbie Lazago. We are in the clear so far this morning. No major problems, no delays, light volume, and no incidents either. That's your WTMJ Johnson & Sons paving time saver traffic.
Sunny and mild today in your storm team forecast. 73 degrees, your inland high, a little bit cooler near the lake. Mainly clear skies tonight with a low down to 53. Right now, 50 degrees in Milwaukee. And from the WTMJ Breaking News Center. Overnight, first responders in Tampa forced to stop heading out to emergency calls for hours while the storm was barreling through. Police Chief Lee Burkhoff says before they had to stop responding, police got a call about a tree on a home full of people.
We were dispatched to a call where 15 people were in a house where the tree had fell on the house and water was coming in the house. There were children in the house, and we were able to get officers out there safely and rescue 15, including young children.
Chief thanked those who did evacuate, saying that helped save lives.
More than 3 million homes and businesses in the dark early this morning, no power. And with a couple of hours of Milton making landfall as a Category 3, its winds shredded the fabric roof dome at Tropicana Field in St. Petersburg. This is where the Rays play. CBS's Dave Wagner.
Who would have ever thought that would happen? It was built because of the changeable weather in Florida. It was built as a dome because they wanted to make sure that we could play games in inclement weather.
It's not immediately clear if the damage was inside the stadium as well.
President Biden expressing deep frustration at what he calls the spread of misinformation in the rescue and recovery efforts after Hurricane Helene. At a White House briefing on Wednesday, called out former President Trump.
Former President Trump has led this onslaught of lies. Assertions have been made that property is being confiscated. That's simply not true. They're saying people impacted by these storms will receive $750 in cash and no more. That is simply not true either. They're saying that money needed for these crises are being diverted to migrants. What the heck are they talking about? Stop it. It's outrageous. It's just not true.
The president called misinformation harmful and un-American.
Suing for safety in the schools. The Wisconsin Institute for Law and Liberty is suing Milwaukee Public Schools for failing to provide the student resource officers as required by Act 12. Will Associate Counsel Lauren Gruhl Tells WTMJ this was driven by MPS parents like her client.
The parents want these SROs in schools, and they're the ones who are advocating for it on a local level to the people in Madison that are then passing this law.
Now, as of now, per Act 12, at least 25 SROs were supposed to be in MPS schools by the 1st of January.
Sexual misconduct allegations against an elementary school staffer. Kenosha County Sheriff's Office investigating a 33-year-old female staffer at Riverview Elementary School in Silver Lake. Misconduct alleges that both a current and former student were involved, but that none of the incidents happened during school hours or on school property. That staffer is being held at the Kenosha County Jail awaiting charges. School district is said to be cooperating with the investigation.
A former pastor is pleading not guilty in a case connected to intimate photos and then was rearrested on additional charges. His name, Gabriel Mills, made his first court appearance Wednesday on 2 felony charges. Mills is a pastor at Journey Church in Kenosha. When investigators say he borrowed the victim's phone, scrolled to intimate photos of the victim, then sent those photos to his phone without consent.
Coming up, hurricane relief coming from a pop star. Siding Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 6:04.
With an ever-changing inventory, you never know what great bargains you're going to be able to find at St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores. It makes shopping fun because the best finds are the ones you had no idea you'd even come across. And when they're at thrift store prices, it feels good. And it feels even better to know you're helping us help others. Shop St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
Dan, I love what we do at Inspired Closets.
Can you count the ways?
First of all, we're 100% locally owned, helping families in southeast Wisconsin calm the chaos and eliminate stress. We're not a franchise. And our lifetime warranty and price match guarantee.
Yes, Katie. Milwaukee homeowners have trusted the Anheuser family for 55 years for our commitment to quality, service, and competitive prices.
And we get to work together.
Yeah, that too. Buy local and save money today. InspiredClosetsMilwaukee.com.
A wife and husband team.
Hey, Sweetest Day is almost here. Don't forget your sweetheart. WTMJ's John Merck here. I highly recommend taking your love to the historic Fox and Hound Supper Club near Holy Hill to witness the spectacular fall colors of the Kettle Moraine Forest. It's romantic. It's great food. And when you buy one dinner, your second dinner is free, even on Sweetest Day. Your favorite steak, ribs, salmon, a big fresh salad, the steak and lobster, any dinner on the menu. You buy one dinner, you get one free. Desserts and ice cream drinks. That's great on Sweetest Day. Also, buy one, get one free. Celebrate with a hand-muddled old-fashioned. 20 bourbons to choose from, over 100 wines, ice-cold beer, 8 elegant dining rooms. The Fox and Hounds is a Top Choice Award winner for most romantic restaurant, and your second dinner is free. Just off Highway 167, 2 miles east of Holy Hill, the breathtaking fall colors surrounding the Fox and Hounds is a Wisconsin must-see. Reserve your Sweetest Day table today. They fill quickly with that free dinner. FoxandHoundsRestaurant.com.
We keep you safe, warm, and dry. Semper Fi.
SemperFiRoofing.com.
Get your rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval to buy at ACCUNET.com.
Siding Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 6:06.
Packers wide receiver Romeo Doubs back at practice, but still hasn't done this. That story coming up in sports at 6:15.
Pop stars pitching in to help hurricane victims in Florida.
Taylor Swift has donated $5 million to Feeding America, a nonprofit that's been helping people hard hit by Hurricane Helene. Now it's expanding its efforts to Milton victims. The group says the money will help communities rebuild, recover, plus distribute food and clean water. Swift is scheduled to resume her Eras tour in Miami next Thursday. She made no mention of her donation to Feeding America on social media. Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News.
The Wisconsin Judicial Commission has filed a complaint against a Dane County judge for misconduct. Commission says Judge Ellen Burrs willfully violated Wisconsin Supreme Court rules by arguing directly with the defendant during a court proceeding and setting out to arrest another who failed to appear for a court hearing. Commission asking the State Court of Appeals to hear the complaint against Burrs and recommends discipline under state law that could include being removed from the bench.
Goats are helping one Milwaukee school with landscaping and lesson plans.
At least 4 or 5 times a day, people would ask me, when are the goats getting here? When are the goats coming?
Then the goats came.
70 of them to chomp down the prairie at Milwaukee Montessori. Head of school Monica Van Aken says the kids are geeking out about the goats.
They've been here for a week, and people just stand and stare at them, and the little kids will, like the kid goats, they just bleat, and they're just adorable.
The students are learning from the animals, too.
Everything is a lesson, right? Like, what kind of species of goat do we have here? Why do farmers purchase goats? And, of course, the parts of the goat.
Jessica Tai, WTMJ News.
Coming up, not just the hurricane, but the twisters. That story next on Wisconsin's Morning News.
Traffic is brought to you by James Imaging Systems, your local document imaging partner. Visit jamesimaging.com.
The Milwaukee Symphony Orchestra has document imaging technology from James Imaging Systems. Director of Ticket Operations and Group Sales, Luther Gray.
James Imaging has been a wonderful partnership with the Milwaukee Symphony and just great to work with.
In what ways?
If an issue does arise, they're very prompt, polite, and professional. It makes me feel empowered because I find it very easy to resolve something.
Luther James Imaging Systems is a local business technology company that stands with their clients over the long term.
Yes, before, during, and after the sale, James Imaging is there, and they are making sure you get the full value in life of every product that you have with them.
Luther, any advice for others looking for a long-term business technology partnership?
I would tell them that James Imaging is the way to go.
Start your business technology partnership with James Imaging Systems today. It's easy to do. Call 262-781-7700 or visit jamesimaging.com. James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner.
Traffic is sponsored by Design Exchange in Heartland and Pewaukee. Design Exchange is where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor on consignment at 25 to 40% off retail prices in Heartland and Pewaukee.
6:09 on Wisconsin's Morning News. What's happening on the drive?
Nothing. How you doing?
Great. Good news.
No, it's looking actually really good out there. Light volume. We're pretty much at full freeway speeds around the whole area, and I'm not seeing any incidents happening either. So even the overnight construction that they had going on has been pulled back. So we are in good shape. I'm Debbie Lazago with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
The WTMJ 5-day forecast. Another day with lots of sunshine all day long. High temperatures in the upper 60s by the lake and lower 70s inland. Tonight, mostly clear skies, and there will be the chance to see some northern lights with low temperatures in the 50s. Friday, a warm day heading our way for this time of year. Partly cloudy skies, breezy with a high temperature near 80. We do drop those temperatures back down on Saturday into the 60s with partly cloudy skies. Most of the day Saturday is dry, but we'll look at some rain chances Saturday night into Sunday. Temperatures on Sunday in the upper 50s with breezy winds. Mid-50s on Monday, the chance for some rain showers and breezy. I'm meteorologist Tyler Moore, the Storm Team forecast on WTMJ.
Milwaukee at 52 degrees.
Live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue in downtown Milwaukee, this is Wisconsin's Morning News. Here's Erik, Bilstad, and Vince Vitrano.
To put it in perspective, when Milton made landfall as a Category 3 hurricane, it had sustained winds of 120 miles an hour. Sustained. Gusts up to 145 miles an hour. But so constantly, it's 120 miles an hour. That's the measure of an EF2 tornado, blowing constantly. This is sound here just south of landfall in Sarasota, and just north of that in St. Petersburg, in the Tampa Bay area.
And there goes Tropicana Field roof. Wow.
It's winds whipping the roof of Tropicana Field to shreds, tore it right off. That's where the Tampa Bay Rays play baseball. The stadium filled, lined with cots. It was to be used as a staging area, temporary housing for some 10,000 utility workers and first responders who are supposed to be serving the people there in the wake of the storm that obviously will need to be rethought. No reported injuries, though, associated with that incident. Right now, Milton weakening, downgraded. You got the radar up there. Hey.
It's moved now west of the peninsula for the most part.
Yeah, downgraded to a Category 1 hurricane. Some of the eastern reaches still battering the eastern peninsula of Florida, outer bands of the storm, the eye itself out over the Atlantic. It's brushing the southeast coast, Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, and it even appears to have moved offshore from that now at this point. Storm surge, they were predicting up to 13 feet. I don't have a measurement at this hour, but a surge did materialize. ABC's Rena Roy.
The predicted storm surge up to 13 feet, flooding densely populated areas on the coast.
Anybody out there who had any kind of emergency and called 911 for help, those emergency crews could not get to them. These streets have been completely empty. We've been out here for hours, have not seen a single vehicle drive by.
The severe flooding reaching far inland as Milton raced across the Florida peninsula.
Yeah, also reaching far inland ahead of the storm. The story was tornadoes.
Like hours ahead of the storm.
Right. The leading edges spawned these tornadoes. Multiple counties reporting twisters.
Ahead of the hurricane, an outbreak of tornadoes cutting across the state from west to east, triggering watches and warnings. More than 30 reported tornadoes touching down. One of them on the move in Palm Beach County, tearing through power lines. Another crossing I-75 west of Fort Lauderdale.
It's ABC's Jacqueline Lee reporting there. We do know multiple deaths have been reported as a result of the twisters, but I don't have a firm number at this hour, from authorities, because you're dealing with multiple counties, and in some spots, difficult for first responders even to get to people, so we just don't know. Flooding rains continue. Worst is over, though, in the west for sure. Still a little bit more to get through in these early morning hours in the east. ABC's Jim Ryan joins us live from Tampa at 7:10 this morning. 6:14, sports up next on Wisconsin's Morning News.
In this real estate market, you need an aggressive real estate agent. Milwaukee Realty pays for client home inspections and well inspections for their buyers and sellers. That's aggressive. Ask your favorite agent if they will, and then call Milwaukee Realty.
Yep, we've got all the things going on in the world, all of them. And imagine if you had to also deal with cancer. Hi, everybody. Debbie Loziga here for Hall Volkswagen, and it's time for the Hall's special event, Hall's Drive Out Cancer Event. They've teamed up with This Time Tomorrow Foundation, a local charity that raises money for individuals and families fighting all forms of cancer. There's a lot going on in the world with wars, hurricanes, and their aftermath, and it's hard enough dealing with those things without a cancer diagnosis. Any little bit would help, and that's what the This Time Foundation partnership with Hall Cars is all about. How it works is with each purchase of a new 2024 Volkswagen vehicle during this event, Hall will donate to the foundation in your honor. It's a chance to help out those who are dealing with this diagnosis. You can find out more by going to hallcars.com. That's hallcars.com.
Siding Unlimited, named the best window installers, not just here, but in the whole USA. Get the best. Siding Unlimited, 3-time winner as America's best window installer. For windows, you call Siding Unlimited first and directly. SidingUnlimited.com.
Time for an update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports Desk.
Packers still dealing with a significant distraction this week as wide receiver Romeo Doubs returned to practice Wednesday following his suspension last week.
The third-year wide receiver elected not to participate in last week's practice on Thursday and Friday, prompting the suspension. Packers head coach Matt LaFleur wants to move on from the distraction, but ESPN Wisconsin's Jason Wilde believes that's easier said than done.
I'm guessing that Romeo has addressed the team by now. This is not something that just blows over.
Wilde also believes skipping practice was out of character for the third-year wide receiver.
I just don't know what he even had to be really disgruntled about. So his behavior is certainly questionable.
Greg Matzik, WTMJ News.
And as I said, still dealing with it because Doubs did not make himself available to reporters in the locker room, as is traditionally done on that Wednesday workday.
Got to get in front of this one. Just be done with it.
And here's why. That left his teammates to kind of clean up the mess. Here's wide receiver Christian Watson.
It'll definitely be, a little weird right away just because, it was a, pretty significant situation, for him. But, he's roamed us. So, I think it'll, blow by pretty quick and we'll all be, right back to how we were.
We'll see. Watson, for his part, recovering from that ankle injury, says he hopes to be back this week. The Packers host the Arizona Cardinals on Sunday.
In New York, Jets quarterback Aaron Rodgers says he had nothing to do with the termination of head coach Robert Saleh. Rodgers telling Pat McAfee,
I resent any of those accusations because they're patently false. And it's interesting the amount of power that people think that I have, which I don't.
All right. There was speculation that Rodgers had something to do with the firing since he had been on the phone with the owner the day before and the night before, but We'll never know, I
Well,
guess.
can you something to do with doesn't mean he marched into the owner's office or the
You're
GM's
right.
office and said, "I demand the firing of."
Arguably, he did have something to do with it because the owner even said, "Hey, look, we only got so much time here with number 8.
Right.
Let's make sure we take advantage of having this quarterback." And anyway, 22-time Grand Slam champion Rafael Nadal is retiring. And Vince, 2 words that always make you cringe when you hear a news anchor say them on TV or on the radio. These 2 words before a story: as expected. As expected, blah, 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 blah happened.
Okay.
Well, if it were expected, that's not news, right? Well, I realize the irony of that when I say this right now. As expected, the New York Mets have punched their ticket to the NLCS. Mets win, beating the Phillies.
Uncanny.
Dodgers, Tigers, and Yankees all with W's on Wednesday as well. There's this Philly fan talking to 69 News, WFMZ. Feel bad for her.
I feel like I might either check into AA, therapy, or an institute of some sort because this is crap. It's full of crap.
We understand.
An institute of some sort.
Yeah, we understand, lady.
And
Philly fan there.
Baseball's cruel.
Yep, it is.
On that note, Brewers general manager Matt Arnold will hold his season-ending news conference later this morning.
I haven't had my muffin yet, Matt.
That will be at American Family Field at 11 a.m.
And I want everyone gone. I want the bartenders gone. I want Xfinity gone. I want my best friend gone. I want them all gone. This is bull crap.
So LeBron has a new stunt double in Hollywood. Well, this father-son duo won't be topping any box offices here.
LeBron takes a block by Giannis at the rim. Lillard tries the contact, puts the shot up and hits it with a foul.
Bucks basketball is back in the Cream City. It's the Bucks and the Lakers tonight. Our Bucks Radio Network game day coverage starts at 6:30. We are the home of the Bucks. WTMJ.
Should have been an easy job. Vince Vitrano here for Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. In anticipation of our new front entryway door, wanted to install some new lighting on the front porch. It should have been an easy job, but this time I hired somebody to do it just because, I've told you before, nothing on my house is off the rack or standard. Seems like there's always a trick. Everything has to be custom. And that actually brings us back to Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. It's why our family works with Pella, because they are the experts in customizable windows and doors. Durable. These materials get tested. They open and close the doors, the latches, the shades, thousands upon thousands of times to make sure they're going to last for years to come. It's a big investment in your home. Other things that are included: fold-away hardware, custom colors, ease of maintenance. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin also has innovative features. Maybe you want the shades between the glass. Integrated roll screens. I love that roll screen in my patio door. And noise reduction as well. All options with Pella Windows and Doors. And right now, here's the deal. 0% interest for up to 36 months on your financing. Spread those payments out to make it more affordable. Certain restrictions do apply. The deal ends October 31st. Get started today at PellaWI.com.
There's no better place to catch the natural wonders of fall than Lake Geneva. Stroll a lakeshore path in a kaleidoscope of color. Explore winding rustic roads. Take a scenic boat tour or glide through a forest on a zip line. At night, stargaze from a historic observatory. Cozy up to a campfire or have a cocktail on the patio. Enjoy the seasonal bounty at orchards, wineries, and farms with flavors to savor. Plan your fall getaway now at visitlakegeneva.com. Lake Geneva. It's always been the place for fall fun.
At 6:21, how's the morning drive look, Debbie?
It's looking pretty good right now, Vince. We've got light volume around the area, pretty much full freeway speeds. I'm trying to look. There's no incidents up on the board. I'm not seeing any delays either. So far, so good. What is this, a Friday? What the what? I'm Debbie Laziga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
Sunny and mild today, a high of 73. Should be a nice one. Tonight, clear, a low of 53. There is a chance, Vince. Another chance for the Northern Lights tonight.
Stop teasing that. Every time I look now, I'm like a big sucker.
Yeah. Well,
you know what, though? I live pretty close to the city, so...
There's a chance. Friday.
If you're out in the reaches, perhaps you will see the Northern Lights.
Breezy and warm tomorrow. The high tomorrow is 80. Saturday, a high of 62. Chance for rain Saturday night. Sunday, chance for showers, a high of 58. Monday, chance for rain again. Cool, a high of 55. Right now, just 50 degrees at 621.
So we probably all do it, right? Maybe not proud of it, but be honest. You do it. Talk a little bit of trash about others behind their backs, right? Maybe you complain about somebody at work. Maybe it's family stuff.
We all do this?
We all get... Okay.
We know
except
at least
for Erik.
one person who does.
Okay. Oh, so I'm the only one being honest.
Go ahead.
Usually, though, it's in the hopes that whatever we say, right, doesn't get back to that other person, right? That's generally not the intention. Sometimes just blowing off steam,
Sure.
right?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Sometimes, though, that does happen. You know, the person you smacked bad on a little bit, you know, they know, and then yet you still have to work together or somehow interact. It is in that context that I find the call Wednesday between our president and Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu so fascinating. More on that in a moment. First, the call. As I mentioned the other day, still lingering amid the rising tensions in the Middle East is Israel's expected response to a direct attack from Iran. Remember, Iran raining missiles down on Tel Aviv, Haifa, other major cities in Israel more than a week ago. Haven't seen it yet. To your point earlier, as expected.
As expected.
Right. Israel is going to respond, and a response of some kind is imminent. What will that be? The U.S. continuing to urge restraint. ABC's Karen Travers at the White House.
President Biden and Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu spoke for 30 minutes by phone Thursday. White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre on their call.
It was 30 minutes long. It was direct. It was productive.
Jean-Pierre wouldn't give specific details about what the two leaders spoke about in their first phone call since late August. She did note that the U.S. and Israeli governments have been in close contact since Iran's attack on Israel last week.
Those discussions continued with the president and the prime minister.
Karen Travers, ABC News, the White House.
So you heard Karen report there. It was the two leaders' first call since August. Also the first since this was reported, that President Biden speaks not so kindly among his staff and others about Netanyahu.
Furious with Netanyahu, and he says to an aide, quote, that son of a, you can read it on there, Bibi Netanyahu, he's a bad guy, he's a bad effing guy.
Not done.
He doesn't give a about Hamas, he gives a blank only about himself.
Still not done.
He's an effing liar. 18 out of 19 people who work for him are effing liars.
It's very specific with the 18 out of 19. Was the
You
president,
really hung up on that, right?
Was he being funny? Was he actually trying to be snarky at that moment when he was complaining?
Clearly on some sort of rant. That is CNN reporting on the new book by journalist Bob Woodward, which is due out next week. Book is called War. Woodward reporting that as a quote from the president as he deals with the prime minister. It was all over the news for 2 days, right? Had to get back to Netanyahu. Right? He had to know that that was out there.
Yeah,
I mean, not that he doesn't have bigger stuff to deal with.
I was going to say, I bet they don't even bring it up. Like, it's Woodward, whatever. Hey, BB, we got things to talk about.
Is that how you start? Hello, Mr. Prime Minister. How are you?
So you're looking well.
How's things? Do you wonder, or do you just address it at the front end? Hey, you may have heard some stuff. You may have read some stuff.
I feel like the media and that entity, when you're in that isolation in the White House or any government entity across the world, I think it's all just noise. You can't focus on it.
The guy called you an effing liar. 18 of 19 people around you are effing liars.
So,
He's a bad guy.
Mr. President, who's the 19th person that likes me? Or is
right?
not
If you're him, which one of the 19 do you think is not an effing liar? If it were me on the other end of that, you got to bring it up. I just want to clear the air here. What is this about?
But you're assuming that they haven't had a contentious relationship or haven't realized or acknowledged their own contentious relationship for however many years.
I guess, but now you've been publicly embarrassed on a world stage. Like that was all over the world. Gotta address it. Gotta clear the air.
So what do you say?
Hey, I think what you did. So that's how I start the call. So, Mr. President, who's the 19th guy? Which one of my guys do you like? All right. And then maybe you can joke about it. Maybe you can brush it off. And I'm not suggesting that things aren't said about people. Again, we all do it to some extent. I just think
sometimes, though, we assume that we're near the top of those priority lists in the Situation Room. And I don't think we often are. I think they're more worried about diplomatic relations that we don't know anything about.
As well they should be. I just think it was interesting.
He's an effing liar. 18 out of 19 people who work for him are effing liars.
It sounds like a commercial, like a
Like the dentist?
18 out of 19 dentists agree.
News about your money this morning. WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Dow Jones Industrial Average was up more than 1% in trading on Wednesday to 42,512. The NASDAQ closed up more than 100 points to 18,292. S&P 500 at 5792. That was up about 41 points. Get an honest opinion of where you are financially and where you're headed. Work with a fee-only fiduciary. Start at annexwealth.com.
This week's Home Improvement Showcase expert is Kohler Services Wisconsin. My guest today is Director Doug Bocchini, who has been with Kohler for 30 years. Well, why don't you start off by telling me a little bit about Kohler Services?
Yeah, so at Kohler Services, first of all, we're very proud to be part of Kohler Company, a 150-year-old company just 60 miles north of here. And what we do is we come in and offer a personalized remodel and design of your existing bath and shower space.
Could you tell us a little bit more about the products that you offer?
Yeah, so we offer, first of all, the Kohler Luxstone showers. They're a durable, non-porous wall system that we have, offered in both solid and pattern colors. They can come with multifunction shower heads, accessible options, digital showering, convenient storage, shower doors, and much more, whatever you like to see.
I love the customization aspect. Now let's talk about the Kohler walk-in bath.
Our walk-in bath is really meant for people who want to maintain that independent lifestyle. It starts with a 3-inch step in height, easy to get in and out, grip rails, heated backrest, and a whirlpool and bubble massage for a great hydrotherapy experience.
Could you tell us a little bit more about your process?
So yes, first of all, our design consultants come in to help you select the products of your dream design. After we get that all done, the team of Kohler experts come in a 16-foot box truck. So they do all the work inside the truck so they're not schlepping on your front lawn and everything like that. They're trained by Kohler Company. They're employed by Kohler Company. And at the end of the whole process, they take everything away for you so you don't have anything to do. And at the end, you get care for life. Basically, our lifetime limited warranty backed by Kohler Company.
Now, why is now a great time to contact Kohler Services Wisconsin?
We have a variety of flexible financing options, including a no-interest 12 months, and you'll receive a free shower door during the month of October.
And what's the best way to learn more about Kohler Services Wisconsin?
Whether visit us at KohlerServicesWI.com, or if you're around, October 18th to the 20th, down at the Nary Show at State Fair Park.
Thanks, Doug, for joining me. This has been the Home Improvement Showcase.
Coming up on 6:30, I'm Vince Vitrano. This is Wisconsin's Morning News. It's Thursday, October 10th, our top story. Hurricane support from the White House.
I'm Erik Bilstad, grappling with veto powers.
I'm Debbie Laziga. We are still in the clear right now around the area. We've got just a little tap on the brakes northbound on 894 right past Lincoln. I'm Debbie Laziga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
Sunshine and mild temperatures, high of 73 degrees today. It would be about 4 or 5 degrees cooler if you're right along Lake Michigan. Mainly clear skies tonight. Chance you might see the northern lights if you're away from the city. And a low down to 53 for Friday. We warm up, partly cloudy, breezy, and a high of 80 degrees. Right now in Milwaukee, we are looking at 52.
This is a special report from ABC News. Hurricane Milton, I'm Sherry Preston.
I want to commend everyone out there that heeded the emergency evacuation order. Definitely saved lives.
Tampa Police Chief Lee Burkaw thanking those who got out of Milton's path and thanking his first responders as well.
We were dispatched to a call where 15 people were in a house where the tree had fell on the house and water was coming in the house. There were children in the house, and we were able to get officers out there safely and rescue 15, including young children.
Tampa Mayor Jane Castor says as the sun comes up, they are just now starting to get a good look at the damage. But those in homes who are safe should stay there.
Please don't go outside. Definitely don't drive around. Don't go through standing water. And make sure if you see any trees or wires down, call and report those, and we will get them fixed as quickly as we can.
More than 3 million power outages as of now across Florida. This is ABC News.
Citing Unlimited, WTMJ News Time 6:31.
From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, President Biden pledging support for those in the path of Milton.
The people of Florida and all the impacted states, we've got your back. We've got your back. And Kamala and I will be there for as long as it takes to rescue, recover, and rebuild.
The president criticized what he calls the spread of misinformation and conspiracy theories about the storm and the government response to Hurricane Helene, calling them lies and un-American.
In Milwaukee.
The focus at MPS should be on learning, not waiting for officers to arrive on site to handle incidents that we're seeing almost daily.
Lauren Gruhl is a lawyer with Wisconsin Institute for Law and Liberty. They are suing Milwaukee Public Schools for failing to provide the required 25 school resource officers as mandated by Act 12. Gruhl breaking it down for WTMJ.
They have a duty that's written into law that they need to comply with. So we're asking the court for a writ of mandamus to say this is part of the law. You have to do what you're required to do by law.
MPD received more than 3,000 calls from Milwaukee Public Schools during the last school year.
The Wisconsin State Supreme Court says the governor's partial veto power is too extreme, but justices admit it, not sure how to rein it in. Comes after the governor used his veto power to adjust school funding increases for 400 years instead of, as the legislation was intended, for merely a single year. Justices appear to agree that the limits were needed, but grappled with where to draw the line. Here's Justice Rebecca Dallett.
I think an initial reaction from maybe anyone looking at this is, wow, right? That seems extreme. That seems like it shouldn't be able to be done. But then becomes how.
The court expected to write a decision in the coming months.
Road rage leads to a highway shooting. The Ozaukee County Sheriff says it happened just before 11 a.m. Wednesday on I-43. This was near Port Washington Road in Mequon. A blue Ford Fusion driver pulled up on the right of a gray Toyota Tundra, fired one round into the car with the bullet through the door going into the car. No one hurt, but witnesses say a road rage incident earlier led to that shooting. Cameron Bardney of Milwaukee, 21 years old, was arrested. Gun and drugs were found in his car.
News is sponsored by Wachtell Tree Service. Visit healthytrees.com.
Siding Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 6:34. Coming up, this is why you don't feed the animals.
Did you know Wachtell Tree Science works all year long, even through the winter? Now's the time to have one of their ISA certified arborists inspect your trees for pruning, insect, or disease issues. And winter is actually the perfect time to prune your trees while they're dormant. Don't wait until spring. Plan ahead for a healthy, beautiful yard. Visit healthytrees.com today. That's healthytrees.com. Wachtell Tree Science, keeping trees healthy and beautiful since 1935.
Hey, John Mercure here for Guthrie & Fry Water Conditioning. I've got their water softener. I've got an RO system from Guthrie & Fry. That means the water coming into my house is filtered. It's crisp, clean, clear. Better water makes a big difference. Guthrie & Fry. Quality products and services at a fair price from a local company you can trust. Guthrie & Fry protects the water in my house. They deliver the salt. Sue and Rob, owners, very generous. And on top of it, they'll treat your family like their family. Southeast Wisconsin's #1 choice is Guthrie & Fry.
Better water makes a big difference. Guthrie & Fry.
Is thinning hair or receding hairline making you feel self-conscious? Try Hair Grow from New Nordic. Stop feeling embarrassed about thinning hair and start feeling your best with Hair Grow.
Hey, it's WTMJ Steve Scafidi for Universal Windows Direct. Replaces old drafty windows before winter sets in. Universal Windows Direct exclusive super spacer technology helps keep your home insulated. Call Universal Windows Direct today. 414-410-2000. For every 2 windows you buy, 2 free. Buy 2, get 2. Buy 20, get 20. There's no limit. Plus, 0% financing for 60 months. Restrictions apply.
I love my windows. They've got that brand new home effect. Universal Windows Direct.
Steinhafels is celebrating its 90th anniversary with its Friends and Family Sale. Take up to $300 off a qualified purchase or take advantage of Steinhafels' 36-month 0% financing and get a $200 MasterCard rewards card. Only at Steinhafels.
Siding Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 6:36.
Packers head coach Matt LaFleur strikes a tone of empathy as he's dealing with the wide receiver who didn't show for practice last week. That's coming up in sports at 6:45.
What do you often see when you go to a park or a nature preserve? You'll see a sign that says, "Don't feed the animals."
Well, they don't mean me. I can feed them. Right. Yeah, I brought some bread,
Well, I bring that up because of this. In Washington State, across the Puget Sound there from Seattle, these are nice wooded areas, really cool place of the country to live, and it's just gorgeous, and there's trees and all this stuff. A woman called 911 because her house was surrounded by more than 100 raccoons.
They were shocked. They had never seen that many raccoons in one place.
The DNR warden there talking to NBC 9 News in the Seattle area. The video and the pictures of this is just crazy. It's just like, it reminds me of the birds the movie The Birds, where it just pans and there are all these raccoons just staring at whoever is taking the video. Raccoons everywhere. This neighbor talking to the 9 News.
I've had several raccoons in the yard recently. My dogs have gotten in a scuffle several times with raccoons. I even had to take one of my dogs to the vet after tussling with a raccoon.
They've even had issues with a bunch of them, carcasses, because they're getting hit by cars in some of these roadways there. So what's the deal? Why did all these raccoons show up? Well, the lady who called 911 told police she's been feeding these animals for decades, and the population just exploded.
Word's gotten out. Hey, that lady's got food.
Yes. So now what do? It costs $500 a raccoon to remove them.
And remove them and take them where? Right. Far away?
And usually, I think there's different, it depends on the state. Sometimes they can be, quote unquote, terminated, and other times they have to be relocated. So what are you going to do with hundreds of raccoons that are now surrounding your house waiting for a piece of bread that you've been feeding them for years? I'll leave you with this because this is always my favorite, when the reporter has a little fun with the story. Yeah, here you go.
Usually when sheriff's deputies get called to a home invasion to find some masked bandits, they're not already wearing prison stripes.
There it is. All right. You want another one?
Yes. Is there another one?
Yes, please.
Among the raccoon population here in Poulsbo, word got out about the midnight all-you-can-eat buffet.
All you can eat. Anyway, they have raccoons in Seattle.
Well, and again, here's a well-intentioned person. She's trying to help the animals, but as is so often the case,
if there's one
this
animal,
is worse for them.
If there's one animal that does not need any assistance,
raccoons are doing okay. Right?
I think they're fine.
6:38, Wisconsin's Morning News.
When it comes to accurate, reliable election information for Wisconsin voters, visit the official site. It's myvote.wi.gov. It's the big cheese, you could say. It's your one-stop source for official Wisconsin election information. Find your polling place, see your simple ballot, make sure your registration is up to date, and more at myvote.wi.gov. Sponsored by Wisconsin Elections Commission, aired by Wisconsin Broadcasters Association and this station.
Big announcement from my medical team at Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Vince Vitrano here letting you know you can now get walk-in, no appointment care at an Ortho ASAP clinic 7 days a week. Just got word from the team that their walk-in clinic hours are expanding and are now in effect. So you get hurt today on the pickleball court or out doing yard work, or your young athlete comes home from practice and that injury is not getting better. You can stop out 7 days a week for an examination and treatment right now. Even fractures, not too big to handle because both the Pewaukee and Brookfield locations have x-rays right there on site. And the best part is you're not stuck in the ER now and you're in the hands of the experts in orthopedic care. There is a difference. Monday through Saturday in Pewaukee, Sunday through Friday in Brookfield. Walk right in or book an appointment online at orthowisconsin.com.
Hey, it's Jason Wilde for Excel Custom Decks. I at least like to think I'm an expert when it comes to football, but I know Excel are truly experts when it comes to the art of deck building. With the finest materials and products combined with their superior craftsmanship, they'll deliver exceptional quality and value on everything from backyard decks to pergolas and outdoor kitchens. If you can dream it, Rob and his family can build it. Family-owned Excel Custom Decks delivers decking excellence by design. Visit excelcustomdecks.com to learn more.
Hey, John Mercure here for Azura Memory Care and Assisted Living. Their mission is to transform the culture of care. They specialize in caring for those with early to late-stage Alzheimer's or other related dementia symptoms, memory care issues. It's Azura Memory Care and Assisted Living. I've been in their places. I love how they deal with people. It's about compassion and empathy at Azura. Kindness is at their core. 14 locations from the Mississippi to Lake Michigan, 4 here in the Milwaukee area. Wisconsin-based and family-owned. It's about kindness and care. It's Azura Memory Care and Assisted Living.
Make any night a fish fry night. Sendix is featuring premium Iceland haddock fillets for just $7.99 per pound. Sendix, your trusted local grocer.
Traffic is sponsored by Sendix Food Market, your trusted local grocer since 1926. What's happening, Debbie?
Well, we've got a broken down vehicle on eastbound 94 right about at 35th Street. Luckily, it is way out of traffic, so it's really not affecting your ride. If you're seeing any delays, it's because everybody is on the road now. Westbound, we are seeing some backups from before 35th Street all the way through to about Mitchell Boulevard. Other than that, we've actually got a pretty good ride shaping up. Southbound, or actually 43 and 41, both looking pretty clear right now. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
The
WTMJ 5-day forecast. Another beautiful sunny day across southeastern Wisconsin with high temperatures in the upper 60s by the lake, lower 70s inland. Tonight, mostly clear skies, low temperatures in the 50s. On Friday, we jumped those temperatures up with highs near 80, breezy and warm with partly cloudy skies. It doesn't last long, though. Saturday temperatures drop back down into the 60s with partly cloudy skies. There will be the chance for a couple rain showers Saturday night. Still the chance for a few rain showers on Sunday, mainly across the northern half of the state. Breezy and cool with high temperatures Sunday in the upper 50s. Monday, mid-50s, the chance for showers and staying breezy. I'm meteorologist Tyler Moore, the Storm Team forecast on WTMJ.
Tyler's temp 52 from Milwaukee.
Time to honor an everyday hero. Everyday hero, as defined by Wisconsin's Morning News, is an average John or Jane Doe who had no idea when they got up one morning that they'd be saving a life. Everyday hero, sponsored by Azura Memory Care and Assisted Living, transforming the culture of care. Azura Memory Care. Okay, we head to Sydney, Australia. And then we head southwest of Sydney, Australia. 14-year-old Isaac Hammond.
G'day, mate.
He's on a fishing trip with his dad and his older brother. So it's the three of them and a fishing guide. And this is like, think small boat, you know what I mean, where they're just fishing. They're not on some big yacht or any huge charter. They're in it, going through the outback and fishing in some of the neat areas there, right? So out of nowhere, out of the water, comes a saltwater crocodile and pulls the guide from the boat.
Just snatched him.
Yes. Pulls into the water. The fishing guide tells ABC in Sydney, once under the water, I realized what had happened. The effer got me. I could see him latched onto my leg. I stuck my left hand down to the bottom jaw to try to pry it. I managed to free my leg, but I couldn't get away from the animal. That's when 14-year-old Isaac grabbed the guide and pulled him from the water.
I sort of jumped up and didn't know what was happening, but I did when I saw the big crocodile in the water. So I grabbed him when he was in the water and pulled him in.
Isaac tells The Project that, he actually stuck his hands in the water, couldn't even believe that he was doing that at the moment, pulled this guy out. Then the croc started following them, wanting to get back onto the boat. So here's the anchor from The Project asking Isaac about this.
So what did you do? I can't imagine it's fun sitting there while a croc's still trying to have a go.
No, it wasn't. Sean had to get up and splashed around in the water, put his hand in the water to try and get the croc to come over, and then hit it with a big pole.
Yeah. Yeah, so his brother Sean
whacked him with a pole.
Lured the croc up to the bow of the boat, splashed the water around a little bit. The croc came over, then he beat it with a pole. They're able to get, of course, the guide in. The guide's bit up pretty good, but he is going to survive, thankfully, all because of 14-year-old Isaac pulling him back onto the boat.
Nice job, Isaac.
Thank you, Isaac, for being an everyday hero. Everyday Hero, sponsored by Azura Memory Care and Assisted Living, transforming the culture of care.
The surgeons that I know are good people. They just want to do what they can to help you feel better. And the surgeries they perform can do wonders for their patients. But medicine's a business, and surgery is the big ticket item. And there are surgeries that are absolutely necessary. In almost all cases, a total knee replacement isn't one of them. It's a last resort. So before you opt for a total knee replacement, if you haven't been to Rejuvenex, you may find that we have treatments that can give you the relief you're looking for. They're FDA approved, and they can alleviate pain, in many cases significantly. And insurance could cover a big portion of, if not all of our treatment costs. The osteoarthritic pain you're feeling will only worsen, and that's why you should take action now. This is Richard Salinas, registered nurse with Rejuvenex Arthritis Clinics, where we can alleviate your pain and rejuvenate your life.
Alleviate your pain, rejuvenate your life.
Go to rejuvenex.com to request your free pain evaluation.
Time for an update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports Desk.
Packers wide receiver Romeo Doubs back practicing with the team this week following last week's one-game suspension. Doubs reportedly upset with how he was being used in the offense, at least publicly. Head coach Matt LaFleur striking an empathetic tone.
They all have their own wants, but how does it fit within the confines of the team's wants? And ultimately, we're in the business of winning, and you got to wrap your own desires under that team-first mentality.
Seems like a good boss there.
Okay.
He's like, I understand, these guys are under a lot of pressure. Okay, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Right.
LaFleur and the team very much looking, though, to move on from this, but it's still not fully resolved. Dobbs did not make himself available to reporters in the locker room Wednesday, which left his teammates to then have to answer questions about it. And listen here to how strained this response is from his friend, receiver Christian Watson.
It's a mentally taxing business. There's a lot going on. We all have our, own individual goals. So, you really never will truly know what somebody's thinking. And, I'll never want to, talk down on anyone's mental health. So, if I don't really still know, the exact, specifics of the situation, but
Watson doesn't want to be talking about this, right? Like he throws in mental health, but then you could feel him almost like, but wait, did I share too much? Is it mental health?
Should I have said that?
Is that
right?
for me to say? Right. So anyway, Watson, not sure what to say. So Dobbs needs to face it. He's got to own it. And until he does, this team's not going to move on from that distraction.
We're talking about practice.
Well, we are.
Yeah. Well, as expected, the New York Mets advancing to the National League Championship Series. We all knew this was going to happen because that's what happens when the team beats the Brewers, any team in the playoffs, and that happened again. So the Mets advance. They beat the Phillies, Dodgers, Tigers, and Yankees, all with W's on Wednesday as well. You know me, I like a good home run call. Here's Giancarlo Stanton's home run, the Yankees over the Royals.
Here's the 3-1 to Giancarlo. Swung on, a high fly to left. Back goes Melendez on the track. He's at the wall, and she's gone. A Stantonian home run.
There it is.
He drove a high fly deep left into the Yankee bullpen.
You hear how he did that too? He kind of gets into the little cadence
He
here.
drove a high fly deep left into
A
the
high
Yankee
fly, didn't it? You know what that reminded me of a little bit?
Deep right field.
Just a little bit. Anyway, the Yankees are a win away from advancing. We got news from Matt Arnold today.
Later this morning.
I'm not Matt.
What up, Matt?
Hi, I'm Matt.
Packers Senior Vice President, General Manager Matt Arnold delivers his season-ending news conference. We'll take questions at American Family Field.
And we can wrap with this. What did the Falcons do to you, Weather Channel? So the Weather Channel reporting on Milton, of course, and this reporter is in the throes of it. He's in Sarasota. They're in the eye at this moment, and he brings up the Atlanta Falcons.
You might still be in the eye right now. There's a lot more to go. I think back to, the Atlanta Falcons first half Super Bowl winner. We know what happened to the second half when the Patriots came back to life. So do not sleep on the second half of Milton, and we're definitely concerned now.
Perfect analogy.
What? Matt Ryan's watching this being like, what?
What? Really? Leave me be. Right? Yeah, it sucked.
Thanks for reminding us.
Wow.
During this tragedy that's taking place.
Tough pull. 6:49 on Wisconsin's Morning News.
Tony Drake here from Drake & Associates. Big news. Our retirement-ready radio show is moving to a new time slot. Catch us at noon every Saturday. At Drake & Associates, we craft tailor-made plans that not only meet your financial needs, but align seamlessly with your unique lifestyle. Tune in at noon on Saturdays and get retirement ready.
Drake & Associates, LLC is an independent investment advisory firm that offers a variety of different investment vehicles. This commercial is provided for informational purposes only and should not be construed as individual investment advice. Drake & Associates, LLC does not provide legal or tax advice.
Beautiful fall weather is upon us. WTMJ's Vince Vitrano here for Built Right Furniture, Leather, and Mattress. We're going to Actually, when I say we, it's largely my wife talking about redoing the living room. And I don't know what that all is involving. It will involve, but I do know it's furniture. And I know we're going to go to Built Right, which is right near our place on the south side. There, Built Right's 96th anniversary celebration and $1 million clearance sell-off is on now. All about your comfort, your style, your home at Built Right. Third and fourth generation family members. They're on hand. They work in the store, along with their amazing team. Collectively, 400 years of experience in the business. Get ready for your holiday guests with thousands of items in stock, plus 500 mattresses and custom orders. They're faster now in 2024. Built Right has affordable, better quality furniture and mattresses. USA-made, small-scale, Amish-made, real solid wood. More than 55 models of PowerLift recliners in stock. Free in-store design services as well. Built Right always saves you money. Voted best place to shop. Open Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Sunday, closed to be with family. Tell them Vinny sent you to Built Right at 54th and Layton Avenue in Greenfield.
For over 6 decades, Blaine's Farm and Fleet's Toyland has made wishes come true. The magic begins again this Saturday at 7 a.m. with incredible doorbuster deals and more. Like Hot Wheels die-cast vehicles, buy 3, get 2 free. Rewards members get a free $5 Blaine's gift card with every $50 toy purchase. Plus, Saturday only, be one of the first 100 people in store to get a free Blaine's toy pickup truck. See store for details. Don't miss Blaine's Farm and Fleet's Toyland opening weekend. The magic begins this Saturday at 7 a.m.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
Checking in with Debbie here at 6:52.
All right, really starting to see some delays now westbound on 94. We're seeing backups from about 16th Street all the way through to about Mitchell Boulevard. Eastbound, we do still have that broken down vehicle, but it's way out of traffic, so it's really not affecting your ride that much. If you are seeing delays, it's right through the stadium interchange itself. We are also seeing some backups on the Rock Freeway northbound between Highway 100 and the Hale, just for something to talk about. So it's just a few taps on the brake. Sun's coming up, so we might start seeing some sun glare issues as well. I'm Debbie Lazago with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
WTMJ forecast brought to you by Dave Drake Camp Heating, where your comfort is their family's tradition. Nice one today, high 73. Inland 68 at the lake under sunny skies, mainly clear tonight. Again, they're promising a chance to see the northern lights. It never seems to work out for me, but good luck to you. Just they, the people. Low down to 53. Friday, partly cloudy, breezy, and warm with a high of 80. Right now, 50 in Milwaukee.
ESPN Milwaukee's Jen Latta joins us in studio. Here's one for you, Jen. Time truly is money in Switzerland. A court ruled that a Swiss watch company was justified in telling workers, if you need a bathroom break, clock out and take it on your own time. So if you have to use the restroom, no matter how long you're in there, you're not getting paid those 2 to 7 to 8 minutes, however long. The company found a legal loophole because the Swiss do have labor laws. However, those laws do not say anything specifically about the toilet.
Yeah, you know why this is an issue? Because some people take 45 minutes to go to the bathroom. If you're in there just doing a little tinkle, they don't care if you miss 2 minutes. They don't care if you miss 5 minutes. They care when you start missing 15-minute increments. And y'all, okay, I'm not saying you guys specifically, but it is your gender that sits in the bathroom for ever.
Now, wait a minute.
No, don't say wait a minute. Because I have waited 45 minutes before.
Yeah, you might be on the something
right?
there.
Isn't, I mean, you know what I'm
What
saying,
if we
right?
got
if I
stuff
just
to
have
read?
Yeah, exactly. The worst thing was you guys
I'm
having
doing show
phones,
prep in here. Leave me
having
be.
phones
Show
on the
prep.
potty, okay? So, yes, I understand why this company would be like, we're paying you to work and you guys are on your phones on the toilet. Like, we all know that that's a reality, and some people take longer than others. But once you start creeping past 15 minutes, I understand a company saying, I'm not paying you for that.
Man, when you said we should ask Jen about this, I did not see this taking this turn.
How could
I didn't know this was going to end up being our fault.
How could you not have? Again, it's representative. It might not be you two specifically, but
I do believe that people schedule their time in the bathroom to help kill an hour during the morning at work. Roll in at 9:30. Okay, I'll get back to the desk around 10.
Had that first coffee, there we go.
And then maybe an afternoon affair quick just to take care of that too. And then all of a sudden,
so
you're
good
killing
on this
an hour.
company for recognizing that some of their employees are trying to take advantage of this, and them going. Yeah, I do think unless it were an issue, the reason they're addressing it is because it's become an issue.
It was a problem.
Yeah,
I suppose that's probably true.
All right, what if you're having problems?
Yeah,
a given
tough day.
You still got to clock out.
So then what, you only get paid for 6 hours of work? I suppose if you only did 6 hours
well,
of work.
so could you theoretically, just from a loophole standpoint, conspiracy theory, could you claim sick time? I was sick. Because sick time is paid time, right? You get paid. Maybe there's a loophole there. I wasn't feeling well, so I need that to count as sick time. Just trying to throw some ideas out there for my Swiss brethren.
Right. No, I think this is a good idea. I think we have opportunities now. I would love to be the boss that has to busy audit all the hours that aren't being worked and having to check to see what Gary is doing right now.
But how are they monitoring this? Is there going to be a bathroom monitor? Is there going to be somebody?
The time clock is right there by the bathroom.
Yeah,
they just
like
install it right there.
The old Looney Tunes cartoon with the sheepdog and the wolf or whatever it was, and they're punching in at the beginning of the day.
I've punched a literal time clock in my day.
Oh, when's the last time I did that? I worked at a restaurant in high school, and that's how we punched in and punched out.
Yeah, all the little cards sitting there right on the wall, and you come in.
Do they still exist, or is everything done phone now? Because you can punch in and out on your phone now with apps. And things.
And now they can monitor like the boop. You can monitor the boop.
Yeah, okay.
Now that most people are going to go, what the hell is she talking about? But I'm talking about you walk into the building, you got a boop thing there. What is that called?
Just like the fob.
Yeah. See, you don't know either.
It's fobbing in.
But that's how people now are timing in. It's all done electronically. Not all, but some places.
Well, the trick with that, too, is you beep, and then you just go right to the bathroom.
If you guys would just be efficient with your business, this would not be a storyline. This would not be something we had to discuss on Thursday morning.
Here.
Very busy.
Thank you, Jen.
Bye, guys.
These are your business headlines from the Milwaukee Business Journal.
Fans will be able to watch Milwaukee Brewers games on cable, satellite, or a streaming product after Major League Baseball takes over the team's broadcast from Bally Sports in 2025. The Brewers will keep the same on-air talent, including Brian Anderson and Bill Schroeder. A dual-concept wine-tasting bar and coffee shop is proposed in South Milwaukee for possible opening in December. The combined Virtue Coffee and Valor Wine would be on Milwaukee Avenue in South Milwaukee in a space that previously housed a martial arts business. The Universities of Wisconsin system is getting ready to launch its search for a new chancellor at UWM as Mark Money prepares to step down from his role next year. The system is assembling a search committee ahead of Money's planned departure as chancellor in July 2025. I'm Teddy Nykel for the MilwaukeeBusinessJournal.com on 620 WTMJ.
When that crisp fall air greets you in the morning, it's time to assess your garden. Now's the perfect time to think about it. WTMJ's John Mercure here for Landworks Wisconsin. They make sure my garden and yard is in perfect shape. They'll do the same for you. Imagine this. Spring flowering bulbs get planted in October and November and then burst into bright daffodils and tulips, brightening up your muddy spring after a long, dark winter. Landworks Wisconsin, they'll do it for you. Give your future self some spring flowers. Let Landworks Wisconsin take care of you like they take care of me. LandworksWisconsin.com.
There's no better place to catch the natural wonders of fall than Lake Geneva. Stroll a lakeshore path in a kaleidoscope of color. Explore winding rustic roads. Take a scenic boat tour or glide through a forest on a zip line. At night, stargaze from a historic observatory, cozy up to a campfire, or have a cocktail on the patio. Enjoy the seasonal bounty at orchards, wineries, and farms with flavors to savor. Plan your fall getaway now at visitlakegeneva.com. Lake Geneva. It's always been the place for fall fun.
This week's Home Improvement Showcase is brought to you by Kohler Services, from inspiration to installation.
Heart disease won't stop us. Diabetes won't slow us down. Allergies, high blood pressure, shoulder pain, cancer. Nothing will keep us from pushing Wisconsin ahead. Because with the Freighter and the Medical College of Wisconsin Health Network, forward progress is what we stand for. That means always pushing and always innovating. With new technologies and breakthrough treatments that make life better, whether we're sick or well. It means providing more convenience and more ways to receive medical excellence for all your health needs, for big and small. It means being there for you, our family, caring for yours. So let's keep raising the bar. Let's keep testing the limits of what medicine can do. Let's push ahead and make life here as great as it can be. Visit Freighter.com to find out how.
Protect mom's assets. Protect your assets. Call Kraus Estate Planning, estateplanningpeople.com.
The Bucks preseason is here, and we can't wait for things to get started.
Lillard, step back three, straight on. Front iron, bounces high into the air and goes in. He's got that shooter's roll working.
Our coverage against the LA Lakers starts tonight at 6:30. We are your home for the Milwaukee Bucks. News Radio 620, WTMJ, Milwaukee.
At 7:01, I'm Vince Vitrano. This is Wisconsin's Morning News. It's Thursday, October 10th. Our top story. First looks at the aftermath of Milton.
I'm Erik Bilstad, suing for school safety.
I'm Debbie Lazaga. Eastbound 94 got some backups now from about 84th Street all the way to Hawley Road. That's on eastbound. The westbound side, we got backups from just about 25th Street to Mitchell Boulevard. Southbound 41 starting to tighten up just a bit, heading towards the Capitol Drive area. Southbound 43 and northbound, by the way, both looking okay. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
A high of 68 at the lake today, 73 inland under sunny skies. Tonight, mainly clear with a low down to 53. Right now at 52 in Milwaukee. And from the WTMJ Breaking News Center, as we speak, Hurricane Milton largely out over the Atlantic now, but it has left destruction in its wake. Came ashore as a Category 3 storm. News Nation's Allison Henning reporting from Sarasota, where those who did not evacuate now getting a first-hand look at the damage.
We are getting our first look at some of the damage Hurricane Milton left behind here in downtown Sarasota. During the height of the storm, the wind was so powerful. The building we were staying in, we could feel it shaking. Now, those intense winds, as they moved through this area, they brought down massive pieces of debris. The street here is lined with debris from that storm surge as well. We actually captured video when it was at its worst. The wind was swirling, churning that water all around this area.
The outer shores or the outer reaches of Milton actually spawned more than a dozen tornadoes, more than 3 million people still without power.
Wisconsin sending support. Julie Zimmerman with the Wisconsin American Red Cross tells our partners at WISC-TV that they'll be anywhere they're needed.
We are helping with everything. I mean, everything from evacuation shelters with Milton to continuing to shelter and reunification efforts with Helene down, like I said, in the Carolinas right now.
American Red Cross sending 60 Wisconsinites down for support.
Talk live with ABC's Jim Ryan at 7:10. He is in Tampa this morning. Meanwhile, locally suing for safety in schools, Wisconsin Institute for Law and Liberty suing Milwaukee Public Schools says they still are not providing student resource officers as required by Act 12. Will Associate Counsel Lauren Gruhl telling WTMJ it was driven by MPS parents like her client.
The parents want these SROs in schools, and they're the ones who are advocating for it on a local level to the people in Madison that are then passing this law. At least 25 SROs were supposed to be in MPS schools by January 1st of this year.
Sexual misconduct allegations against an elementary school staffer. The Kenosha County Sheriff's Office investigating allegations against a female staffer at Riverview Elementary School in Silver Lake. Now, the misconduct alleges that both a current and former student were involved. None of the incidents happened during school hours or on school property.
One person dead, another seriously hurt in a double shooting, as Milwaukee police say it happened about 10:30 Wednesday night on 68th and Hampton, Milwaukee's northwest side. 25-year-old died from gunshot wounds at the hospital. A second 25-year-old also ended up in the hospital with serious injuries. What led up to that shooting still under investigation.
Coming up, a hip-hop mogul tries to get out.
Siding Unlimited, WTMJ News Time 7:04.
Hi, I'm Dewey Strobel. When I learned that 1 in 7 Wisconsinites struggle with literacy and that only 13% of elementary students at our state's largest school district read at grade level, I knew we had to do something. Reading is the #1 building block for learning, and our kids were falling behind. So I introduced and passed a bipartisan literacy bill to develop a proven phonics-based curriculum and give schools the resources they need to implement it. Teaching our kids to read isn't partisan. I worked with elected officials from both sides of the aisle to get this bill signed into law by Governor Evers. Because to keep our state moving forward, we have to make sure our kids have the tools they need to be successful. I'm Dewey Strobel, and when Wisconsin is facing serious issues, you can count on me to cut through the partisan gridlock and deliver results for you and your family. I'd be honored to earn your vote for State Senate this November. Paid for by Dewey for Senate.
Get started with your no-hassle refi checkup by clicking on the blue button at Accunet.com.
WTMJ's Erik Bilstad here. Admit it, you've been dealing with achy joint pain for so long. It's been so long you don't even remember when it started, when you used to feel good. You do the daily doses of medication, which basically just a Band-Aid. You've done the steroid shots, and it just doesn't last, and God knows what the long-term effects are. So let's talk real lasting relief. It is possible with the help from QC Kinetics. People in Milwaukee are reducing the inflammation, getting the mobility back, and most importantly, getting their lives back. Just call QC Kinetics, the nation's leader in cellular therapies, using your own body's healing properties. Find out if you're a candidate for regenerative treatments. Call QC Kinetics for a free consultation. Here's the number, 414-285-3474. QC Kinetics, cutting-edge treatments that require no surgery, no drugs, and here's the best part, no downtime. You can go right to the office right after a treatment. 414-285-3474. Call QC Kinetics today.
When you're due for tire service, visit richlands.com for the location nearest you.
We'll give you a free flat tire repair on every tire we install. No questions asked. I'm Brett Matchke with Richlands. You're due for service.
Richlands.
Siding Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 7:07.
Packers wide receiver Romeo Doubs is back at practice, but still hasn't done this. That's coming up in sports at 7:15.
Music mogul Sean Diddy Combs back in a Manhattan federal courtroom later today. His attorneys are going to try once again to get him released on bail. ABC's Phil Tate.
A judge citing Diddy's, quote, substance abuse and anger issues, saying the danger is quite serious for threats and intimidation of witnesses. Well, this is Combs has a pile of charges stacked against him, including racketeering, conspiracy, and sex trafficking, stemming from allegations going back to 2008. The 54-year-old lawyers also filed a motion for an evidentiary hearing accusing the federal government of leaking hotel surveillance footage of him beating his former girlfriend, Cassie Ventura.
Combs has been in custody since last month, facing sex trafficking charges.
Wisconsin Judicial Commission has filed a complaint against a Dane County judge for misconduct. Commission says Judge Ellen Burtz willfully violated Wisconsin Supreme Court rules by arguing with the defendant during a court proceeding and then setting out to arrest another who failed to appear.
You don't need that lawnmower, Vince. You can use other items or animals to take care of your grass. One Milwaukee school is landscaping with goats.
It's a small but mighty team at Milwaukee Montessori School. In fact, a few faculty members used to do all the landscaping themselves until it got to be a bit much. That's when they turned to goats. 70 of them.
We found a group called Grazing Goats Wisconsin from Whitewater. And these people are busy. Like, they come every day to check up on the goats.
Head of school Monica Van Aken says the assignment was simple. Take down the prairie before winter. She gives the goats an A.
They're chewing away. They eat. They really eat.
Jessica Ty, WTMJ News.
Not mowing my lawn with goats. I'm glad for the kids, though. 7:09 on Wisconsin's Morning News.
Hey, WTMJ's Erik Bilstad here, reminding you to subscribe to the Wisconsin's Morning News podcast. We update it every day with every interview, every segment, every bit we do on the show.
Wait, we don't do bits on the show.
We're thrilled to have the one and only Will Pounder.
I don't know what that means.
Labeled or known as being a big baguette.
All right, maybe we do some bits.
Be sure you subscribe to the Wisconsin's Morning News podcast, presented by Tri-County Contracting.
For over a century, local radio has evolved with the needs of the community. From politics to pop culture, we keep you informed, bringing you the most relevant news, online, on air, and on the go. You have trusted us with your news, sports, weather, and entertainment. Trust us to keep moving with you. Text radio to 52886 and tell Congress local broadcasting is here to stay.
Make any night a fish fry night. Sendix is featuring premium Iceland haddock fillets for just $7.99 per pound. Sendix, your trusted local grocer.
Traffic sponsored by Sendix Food Market, your trusted local grocer since 1926. Debbie.
Alrighty, well, we got westbound 94 backed up with delays from about 27th Street all the way through the Stadium interchange to about Mitchell Boulevard. Eastbound is riding the brakes a bit from just before 84th Street all the way through the Stadium. We've also got another broken down vehicle. This one's on eastbound 94 just past Moreland Road. It's off on the right shoulder, so heads up with that. Just be careful. It's not in traffic, but it's just something to distract you, unfortunately. I'm Debbie Lazago with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
Sunny and mild today in your Storm Team forecast with a high of 73 degrees. A little bit cooler near the lake and mainly clear overnight, low down to 53. Milwaukee temp at 50 right now. Milton pounds Florida and many of the dire predictions about this monster storm manifesting overnight. Sustained winds of 120 miles an hour, gusts up to 145 in Sarasota as the then Category 3 hurricane rushed ashore. Sarasota just south of Tampa on Florida's Gulf Coast. Tampa is where we find ABC News correspondent Jim Ryan, who rode it out overnight. Jim, first question, how did you and any crew you might have had there with you from ABC, how did you stay safe?
Well, staying inside, essentially. Normally, and luckily, the power stayed on, so I didn't have to stay in the car, didn't have to keep the power inverter charged up, keeping everything powered. So the hotel did keep its electricity overnight, and so I stayed up in my room on the 12th floor and felt the building swaying back and forth. It actually does that in a hurricane. I've felt that before. And so, yeah, it wasn't such an issue here in the Tampa area. Down to the south of here in the Sarasota County area, that's where really the worst of it in terms of landfall was done.
Jim, what do we know about any possible storm surge? That's been all the talk here the last couple of days.
Yeah, still waiting to see what the surge was around Sarasota. Here in Tampa, the real nightmare scenario would have been a direct hit on Tampa Bay from Milton. It would have, the storm surge would have inundated the areas around the bay as the bay's level was raised up. But instead, since it hit to the south, and because hurricanes rotate counterclockwise, some of the bay water was actually pulled out into the Gulf. So the bay level at the top of Tampa Bay, the level went down 2 feet, so which is pretty remarkable. We did have 93-mile-an-hour winds here in Tampa. It had lots of other effects, and in fact, this city broke its monthly rainfall record in just one day, 11 inches of rain overnight.
What is the sun up now? I mean, you're an hour ahead of us there, and you're on the eastern part of the country, obviously. Have you had a chance to look out the window here? What are we looking at?
Well, yeah, I took a drive around this morning before sunrise, and there are still big areas of blackness where the power was out, but they'll start getting that restored. I was surprised to see a lot of areas where the lights were still on, though, and a lot of debris around the area here that was blown around. That was to be expected, given that, first of all, we had Hurricane Helene 2 weeks ago, and debris left over from that, but now the new debris, the tree limbs, the palm fronds, everything that was blown about by the storm yesterday.
ABC's Jim Ryan is live with us from Tampa, apparently spared the worst of this storm. The other big story was actually ahead of it, Jim, these tornadoes that broke out even further inland off the coast.
Yep. 4 people killed in a tornado, at least one tornado that struck 150 miles away from the point of landfall. This was way over on the east coast of the state. Port St. Lucie is where those fatalities happened. And so, it'll be remarkable if the devastation, the majority of casualties came not from storm surge, not from flooding or from wind, but from tornadoes.
ABC's Jim Ryan. Glad you're safe, Jim. Appreciate your time this morning.
Thank you.
I don't know, so I have mixed feelings. Remember, we were talking about the dire predictions, the worst. This could be the storm of the century. This is going to be the worst, and at least in Tampa, it's not that. So I'm not minimizing the damage and the cleanup and all the things that still have to occur.
It just hit south of Tampa, so because it sucked the water out in that area, there's still storm surge issues elsewhere.
Right.
They were just dramatically worried about a 15-foot surge in the bay there, what that would have done. It did take the roof off the Tampa Bay Rays Stadium. That is now no longer a closed stadium.
Yeah, and they were staging. There were cots at the stadium. Actually, here, I'll get you that moment.
And there goes Tropicana Field roof. Wow.
Guy posting the video on social media as the winds are tearing the roof right off. All these cots on the stadium floor, the outfield of where the Rays play, and they were going to stage first responders and utility workers there. Some 10,000 were expected to at least stage there or perhaps even stay there as they try to get the power restored all over the state of Florida. They're going to have to rethink that now this morning. As for the storm, at the moment, looks like virtually all of it is out over the Atlantic, even off of the east coast there of the Florida Peninsula. 7:15 on Wisconsin's Morning News.
We've found that the high road is worth the climb, and it's less crowded. At Semperfi, everything we do is done to the best of our ability. There are no shortcuts. It's pretty simple. We do what we say we're going to do because we fully understand that a reputation is never given. It's always earned. It is in our nature to keep our values intact so that when we leave your job, you'll be right there to shake our hand with satisfaction. We've installed massive flat roofs and shingled huge churches, schools, and all kinds of homes from modest to extravagant, all with integrity and pride in our work. And we're going to keep doing it for generations to come. That's what Always Faithful means to us. This is Brad Youngbluth with Semper Fi Roofing and Exteriors, your local, veteran-owned and operated exterior remodeling company. For your new roof, siding, window and door installation, or masonry work, you can count on Semper Fi to keep you safe, warm, and dry.
We keep you safe, warm, and dry, Semper Fi.
The Fox and Hound Supper Club in Hubertus is hiring servers, bussers, food runners, expo and barbacks, and cleaners. Make real money. It's perfect for high school and college students, parents, and grandparents. Tell your kids and start next week. foxandhoundsrestaurant.com.
Time for an update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports Desk.
Packers still dealing with a significant distraction this week. Wide receiver Romeo Dobbs returned to practice Wednesday following his suspension a week ago.
The third-year wide receiver elected not to participate in last week's practice on Thursday and Friday, prompting the suspension. Packers head coach Matt LaFleur wants to move on from the distraction, but ESPN Wisconsin's Jason Wilde believes that's easier said than done.
I'm guessing that Romeo has addressed the team by now. This is not something that just blows over.
Wilde also believes skipping practice was out of character for the third-year wide receiver.
I just don't know what he even had to be really disgruntled about. So his behavior is certainly questionable.
Greg Matzik, WTMJ News.
And the other story is Dobbs did not make himself available to reporters in the locker room, as is traditionally done on that Wednesday workday. A lot of other guys talk and they do the interviews. So, but okay, fine. Like, I'm not saying feel bad for the reporters. What I'm suggesting is he kind of left his teammates then to have to answer all these questions. Wide receiver Christian Watson.
It'll definitely be, a little weird right away just because, it was a, pretty significant situation, for him. But, he's roamed us. So, I think it'll, blow by pretty quick and we'll all be, right back to how we were.
We'll see. Watson, for his part, also added he's recovering from that ankle injury, remember. He said he hopes to be back for the game this week. Packers host the Cardinals on Sunday.
Jets quarterback Aaron Rodgers says he had nothing to do with the termination of head coach Robert Saleh. Rodgers telling Pat McAfee,
I resent any of those accusations because they're patently false. And it's interesting the amount of power that people think that I have. Which I don't.
Yeah, well, there was speculation considering he had talked to the owner the night before, but well, I guess we'll never know. 22-time Grand Slam champion Rafael Nadal, he is announcing his retirement as expected. Two words that you don't need to say in news, right? Because it's not news if you all expected it, but here we are. As expected, the Mets win, so now they are in the NLCS. The Mets beat the Phillies. Boy, Philly fans devastated by this.
I feel like I might either check into AA, therapy, or an institute of some sort because this is crap. It's full of crap.
As a woman talking to 69 News after the game. Well, poor Philly fan.
Listen, lady, if you need AA, that's independent of what has happened with the Phillies. I mean, just trying to help.
Dodgers, Tigers, and Yankees all with W's on Wednesday as well.
And Brewers general manager Matt Arnold will hold his season-ending news conference later this morning.
I haven't had my muffin yet, Matt.
That is set for American Family Field at 11 a.m.
And I want everyone gone. I want the bartenders gone. I want Xfinity gone. I want my best friend gone. I want them all gone. This is bullcrap.
The Upswing is your place for commerce and community.
I'm guessing one of the plans is, hey, can we do this on a retail level, maybe local, maybe scale it regionally, maybe nationally? Is that something that you're analyzing?
Definitely something to think about down the road.
Hosted by Jeff Sherman.
But I think right now, I like the idea of not being in the big stores and keeping that smaller feel, specialty feel.
Weekdays from 10 to 11 on WTMJ. Presented by Horicon Bank, the natural choice for all your banking needs.
WTMJ's Erik Bilstad here. Yes, fall is here. It's gorgeous outside, and the time is now to get that yard prepped up for when the cold really sets in. Don't fret, though. No stress here. David J. Frank's got you. David J. Frank Landscape can do the job for you. David J. Frank has been in business for 65 years. They can take care of winterizing the yard. Or maybe you're going to add some plantings or some bulbs for spring. Or maybe you want to refresh that patio for fall. With power washing and sealing, fast turnarounds guaranteed from David J. Frank. Make autumn awesome with David J. Frank Landscape Contracting. Get a free quote. The website is davidjfrank.com. Again, that's davidjfrank.com.
When it comes to accurate, reliable election information for Wisconsin voters, visit the official site. It's myvote.wi.gov. It's the big cheese, you could say. It's your one-stop source for official Wisconsin election information. Find your polling place, see your sample ballot, make sure your registration is up to date, and more at myvote.wi.gov. Sponsored by Wisconsin Elections Commission, aired by Wisconsin Broadcasters Association and this station.
At 7:21, how about an update on the roads, Debbie?
Oh, I can do that for you. Westbound 94 has actually eased up nicely. So we're in good shape right now all the way into Waukesha County. Eastbound, it's a little different. We've got some delays from just east of Highway F all the way down through the Barker Road area to about Calhoun. Then you're back on the brakes from 92nd Street through the Stadium interchange. Eastbound 894, we got the backup on the bypass from before 84th Street all the way through to Loomis. We do have another broken down vehicle on the westbound side right about at Loomis, but this is off on the right shoulder, luckily. 41 and 43, both looking pretty good, although southbound 43 is tightening up just a bit right by Capitol Drive. Hey, while you're out navigating the roads as quickly and safely as possible, if you see something we should know about, call the WTMJ Hall Volkswagen Traffic Tip Line at 414-238-9329. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
High of 73 degrees today, bit cooler near the lake, and a lot of sunshine. Mainly clear skies tonight. Chance to see the northern lights if you're away from the city, and a low down to 53. Friday, we pop an 80 for our high under partly cloudy skies. Saturday, chance of rain at night with a high of 62. Sunday, chance of showers and cool and breezy with a high of 58. Right now, 52 in Milwaukee.
Yeah, it's crazy, but where do you draw the line? That was basically the theme on Wednesday at the state Supreme Court. At issue is Governor Evers, I should just say the governor's partial veto powers when it comes to the budget. We've heard this story before, right, where a governor of Wisconsin has broad authority and broad power to be able to kind of pinpoint different parts of the budget proposal to almost create new sentences and create new rules when it pertains to creating a new budget. This is after the state legislature has sent it to him or her.
Called the line item veto. So you can cross various things out, and then you can change expenditures and other things like that.
So what happened was, in the last budget, Governor Evers eliminated a hyphen and a couple of words to indicate that there would not just be a increase in funding for public school students next year, but instead until 2400, meaning 400 years from now. So by eliminating a dash, it wasn't no longer 24-25 school year. It became the year 24-25.
So, right, 400 years.
Added 400 years
each
to an
year
increase.
of the next 400 years, state spending on schools would increase.
So
which was not the intention of the legislature.
That a lawsuit was filed. The attorney, Scott Rosenau.
When the voters enacted the partial veto power in 1930, they didn't envision anything like this happening.
He went on to say,
in this case, the governor did not delete whole words. He selectively struck individual digits, whole words, and a dash to effectively create a new word. That's really, I think, what sets this case apart from any of this court's precedents.
So what do you do about it, though? The court has ruled on this type of stuff before, Justice Brian Hagedorn.
When legal scholars and others who look at what we do in our body of case law, and they think it's crazy, because it is crazy. We allow governors to unilaterally create law that has not been proposed to them at all.
So they all may agree that this is astronomical and a lot, but Rebecca Dellett asks, okay, well then what do you do about it, or what do you want us to do about
I think an initial reaction from maybe anyone looking at this is, wow, right? That seems extreme. That seems like it shouldn't be able to be done. But then becomes the how.
Yeah, the how meaning why would we strike down something if, even though we all agree it's astronomical in broad authority to give a governor, but at the same time, has a law been broken?
Right, because the court's ruling or the court's intention is not, or I should say design, is not to talk about what we wish the law were or what each one of them wants an outcome to be. It's what does the law say? we changed it because there was a lot, they used to call it the Vanna White veto.
Mm-hmm. Yes, right.
And it came out in the 90s that we made some changes, a couple of constitutional amendments.
Yeah, so a Vanna White veto is defined as a budget veto that cuts phrases, digits, letters, and word fragments to create new words, sentences, and dollar amounts. Now, those lawyers, though, hit a snag because these justices pointed out that amendment in 1990 bans the elimination of individual letters, not numerical digits. Two different things, letters and a digit, Justice Ann Bradley.
I understand the argument that 400 years seems absurd, and that has some resonance, right? But equally absurd to me is your argument that a letter is a number or vice versa, that a number is a letter. I think it doesn't take a constitutional expert or what they refer to as a Philadelphia lawyer. A fourth grader, or dare I say a 4-year-old, knows the difference between letters and numbers.
Oof. So they are now going to write their opinion. Who knows where they go? I'll leave you with this. The justices had a good laugh when Rosnow said, you know what, the decision should be pretty easy and the opinion should be written fairly quickly.
I think if the court were to resolve this case on just one of the two alternative grounds, it could probably write an opinion, frankly, in maybe 20 paragraphs or fewer. Under Section 10.
Have you read our opinions?
We're great at that.
Is that a bipartisan chuckle?
Yes. Listen to Walsh Bradley here.
That's good. Let's be just here.
So they can't. They're tickled to this. So then he tries to double
maybe
down.
The majority opinion could be 20.
Well played.
Did I say paragraphs? I meant pages.
He's trying a little bit too hard there now. Listen to Ann Walsh Bradley right here.
Okay. Well, how wonderful.
Anyway.
Still laughing. Wasn't that funny? I mean,
you've never read our stuff, apparently.
News about your money this morning. WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Dow Jones Industrial Average was up more than 1% to 42,512. In trading on Wednesday, the NASDAQ closed at 18,292. That was up 109 points. And the S&P 500 at 5792. That was up 41. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com.
How wonderful.
Welcome to The Knowledge Brokers, a weekly feature covering the dynamics of the insurance market and how it affects Wisconsin businesses and residents. It's sponsored by the original knowledge broker, R&R Insurance. And joining us today is Jeff Salazinski, Vice President of Insurance Operations. Jeff, I want to talk about employee benefits today. R&R Insurance provides those benefits for all of us here at Good Karma Brands. It's a great program. And companies, us here too, fast approaching open enrollment.
Thanks, Vince. Great to be here. Employee benefits are one of a company's largest expenses. Businesses need to know how to use their employee benefits program as a tool to attract and retain employees. A benefit understood is a benefit appreciated. This means it's critical to know how best to communicate your company's employee benefits program. The right message will help employees understand their option and guide their decision-making. It'll also increase their sense of value and engagement. Employees will be more inclined to participate and see it as a part of their total compensation program.
So looking at the current very competitive job market, Jeff, what impact do these employee benefit packages have on, say, a candidate's decision to sign with a company?
The impact is huge. Numerous studies indicate that in today's environment, new hires more frequently select the employer with the best overall employee benefits package.
So, Jeff, why R&R Insurance?
Vince, at R&R Insurance, we'll help employers brand their benefit packages in a customized, easy-to-understand fashion, taking out the complex and confusing nature of shopping for employee benefits insurance. More importantly, we'll manage and provide as much support as you need for your open enrollment process and beyond. With our latest mobile technology, your employees will have easy, immediate access to benefits information for themselves and their families 24/7.
Can confirm. That's Jeff from R&R Insurance. Thanks for the great info, Jeff. More information at myknowledgebroker.com.
This is a special report from ABC News. Hurricane Milton. I'm Sherry Preston. Damage assessment underway across Florida following Hurricane Milton. ABC's Eva Pilgrim reporting from Orlando.
We saw transformers blowing left and right, and there's a lot of power out in the state of Florida. Some 3.2 million households are waking up without power here. Tampa Electric saying 70% of their customers don't have power right now.
That's the sound of work being done this morning in Siesta Key, Florida, where the eye of the hurricane came ashore last night around 8:30 Eastern Time. ABC News chief meteorologist Ginger Z says Milton's not quite done either.
It's moving over the Atlantic now. There are flash flood warnings because this has come with, foot and a half of rain, and there will still be onshore 3 to 5 feet of surge from Cape Canaveral and the Space Coast right up to Daytona and Jacksonville. So that, with tidal times, could be problematic.
At least 4 deaths so far. This is ABC News.
Siding Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 7:31.
Eastbound 94, we got some backups from about Highway 164 all the way through the Barker Road area. Then we've got more backups from 84th Street through the Stadium interchange. And by the time you hit 35th Street, you're good to go into the Marquette. The westbound side still tight before 27th all the way to Mitchell Boulevard. And we've got some backups now on southbound 43 between Silver Spring and Capitol Drive. I'm Debbie Lazago with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
Sunshine and mild temperatures today, high 68 at the lake, 73 inland, and mainly clear skies overnight, low down to 53. It's about where we are right now. Right now, Milwaukee at 52. And from the WTMJ Breaking News Center, hurricane help coming from Wisconsin. Red Cross Southwest Wisconsin Executive Director Kyle Kriegel says they started prepping and sending supplies when Milton was still a tropical storm. Shares the Red Cross plans with our partners at WISC TV in Madison.
We've got a lot of our supplies and volunteers down there helping right now. We've got anticipating more to go down and help in the upcoming days. We do have volunteers right now that are in the areas, to help with sheltering for those that have been evacuated for Hurricane Milton.
Red Cross calling for volunteers, blood donations, and financial contributions.
The Wisconsin Institute for Law and Liberty is suing Milwaukee Public Schools for failing to provide school resource officers. 25 SROs were required by law to be in MPS buildings by January 1st of this year. It's part of Wisconsin's Act 12. Will says over 3,000 calls were made to Milwaukee Police from MPS last school year alone, and that each call takes officers and resources off the streets when they're needed. Milwaukee Public Schools said in September that it has a memo of understanding with Milwaukee Police to implement the SRO program when officers become available.
The state Supreme Court seeming to suggest our governor's partial veto power is too extreme, but justices seem to be struggling with any legal options to rein it in. This after the governor used his veto power to adjust school funding increases intended for a single year up to 400 years. Justices appeared to agree the limits were needed, but grappled with where to draw the line. Here's Justice Rebecca Dallett.
I think an initial reaction from maybe anyone looking at this is, wow, right? That seems extreme. That seems like it shouldn't be able to be done. But then becomes how.
Court planning to issue a decision in the coming months.
Former pastors pleading not guilty in a case connected to intimate photos, then was rearrested on additional charges. Gabriel Mills made his first court appearance Wednesday. He faces 2 felonies. He's a pastor at Journey Church in Kenosha. Investigators say he borrowed a victim's phone, scrolled to intimate photos, then sent those photos to his phone without consent. After the hearing, he was taken back into custody because a new victim then came forward.
Traffic is sponsored by Holtebeck Eye Center in Brookfield. Visit holtebeck.com.
Holtebeck Eye Center in Brookfield is excited to welcome Dr. Nausheen Abbas to their team. Dr. Abbas is an ophthalmologist and cornea specialist. Learn more at holtebeck.com.
Siding Unlimited, WTMJ News Time 7:34. Coming up, We Robot.
News is sponsored by Griffin Ford, Griffin Chevy on Metro Auto Mall, and Griffin's Hub Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram.
$1 in today's world doesn't go far unless you're spending it at Griffin. Because for just $1 over cost, you can buy brand new tires from us. Buy one or a whole set. This is Jim Griffin. Any major brand. We'll put you in new tires for just $1 over our cost with free tire repair and lifetime rotation. That's right, $1 over cost, and we'll even show you the invoice to prove it. So what's the catch? There's really no catch. You don't have to buy a car or a truck from us. We'd like it if you did, but our only requirement is we put them on for you. Buy 1, 2, or a set of 4. The $1 deal at Griffin. Available at Griffin Chrysler Jeep South, 27th Street and Jefferson. Griffin Chevrolet in the Auto Mall. Griffin Ford, Waukesha, and Fort Atkinson. 5 ways to make your dollar go further. Griffin, the buck stops here, but the deals on tires don't. $1 over cost. That's Griffin.
Not combinable with other tire offers. At Uline, the prevailing opinion is, if you don't live it, you don't believe it. The people at Uline believe in hard work, and they live it by being there 24/7 to answer your call, having 41,000 items in stock, and offering same-day shipping from 12 locations across North America. Business owners, sellers, buyers, shippers, and packers believe it. Uline is the hard-working, dependable source for your shipping and industrial supplies. Visit uline.com.
When you walk into your bathroom, is it turn this into this? With our Sidex Creepiest Tub or Shower Contest. Enter a picture of your creepy tub or shower space at WTMJ.com for a chance to win a brand new complete tub or shower conversion installed at no cost, up to a $10,000 value. Enter your picture by texting CREEPY to the WTMJ talk and text line. It's the Creepiest Shower Contest, only here on WTMJ.
Siding Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 7:37.
LeBron James, was that some sort of crack on Milwaukee? We'll get into it at sports at 7:45.
Tesla is set to unveil a new vehicle tonight. What could it be?
Tesla CEO Elon Musk has called it the Cybercab, a self-driving taxi that would operate much like the rideshare service Uber does, just without any drivers.
That would allow these specialized vehicles, or who knows, maybe even passenger Teslas, to operate on this robotaxi network.
Yeah, so this idea would be that you use Uber, would just dial it up, and then here comes the autonomous vehicle to drive you wherever you need to go.
Fine with that. Has to be happening. This is the future, yes.
What's very interesting about this is where it goes from here, because you talk about younger generations and what they lean on and what they purchase and what they use. Ian Scher is a tech consultant for CBS News. He says this could be literally a game changer.
What it really represents is possibly a change in the way we all use and own cars. The idea that we would rely on a network of self-driving taxis instead of possibly owning a car that sits in our front yards when we're not using it.
If there were that many of them and it was that easy, why would you own a vehicle is the point Ian's trying to make there. We're nowhere near that, but could that eventually be how we transport from place to place?
Did you tell me there are already self-driving vehicles?
There are.
Like San
Francisco's had some pilots done, and yeah, Google's involved in some of this. So this isn't unprecedented. But as you know, whatever Elon Musk, he goes in big on. So the idea of this is not just to be in the paper tomorrow. It's to make this a thing.
You don't have to tip then the
That's a good
non-driver, right?
You used to not have to tip the Uber driver.
Right.
And then that changed.
I don't want Johnny Cab asking me for a couple of bucks. How about a tip? That's a deep cut right there.
That is a deep cut. I know Total Recall. And
This news report brought to you by Steinhoffels. Visit them at steinhoffels.com.
Steinhoffels is celebrating its 90th anniversary with its Friends and Family Sale. Take up to $300 off a qualified purchase, or take advantage of Steinhoffels' 36-month, 0% financing and get a $200 MasterCard rewards card. Steinhoffels has something for everyone. Shop Steinhoffels' Friends and Family Sale in-store or online at steinhoffels.com.
Why trust Grandview Homes to buy your home? It's simple. We make the home selling process fast, easy, and stress-free, even if your home is less than perfect. No real estate agents, no repairs, no cleanouts needed. Leave the mess and the stress to us. At Grandview Homes, we live and work in your neighborhoods. Our reputation is built on 15 years treating sellers with the dignity and respect they deserve. Visit GrandviewHomes.com for your fair cash offer today. Grandview Homes, fastest and easiest way to sell your home.
Where am I? Wisconsin families are getting crushed today. We're paying more for food, clothes, gas than ever. Our open border has allowed over 10 million illegal immigrants into our country the last 4 years, driving up the cost of health care and housing for every one of us. What's more, it's allowed fentanyl to pour into our communities, killing our friends and family. Kamala Harris and Senator Baldwin's policies created all these problems. It's time for change. I'm Erik, and that's why I'm running for the U.S. Senate. For too long, these career politicians have failed our country. They're all talk, no action. I'm not anything like these people. I'm a business guy who lives in a world where actually solving problems matters. We need to lower the cost of food, close our southern border, build more affordable housing, and fix our healthcare system. I'm Erik, candidate for the U.S. Senate, and I approve this message because it's time for change.
Paid for by Hovde for Wisconsin.
Where am I?
You're in a Johnny Cab.
I mean, what am I doing here?
I'm sorry. Would you please rephrase the question? Huh?
How did I get in this taxi?
The door opened. You got in.
Okay.
What a great poll. What was that movie? Like the 90s, early 90s?
I want to say like 90 or
late
80s. 1990, I'm going to guess.
Is that Total Recall?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You're darn right it is, Debbie.
More than a
quarter
quarter century later, we're still talking about maybe we'll have robots driving cars? Come on. Let's go, Deb.
Alrighty. Well, we got southbound 43 slowing from Silver Spring down to about Capitol Drive. After that, you are good to go all the way down through the Marquette. Southbound 41's heavy from Appleton Avenue all the way down past Capitol Drive, a little bit past the North Avenue curve as well. Eastbound 94 backing up out of the Highway 16 area all the way past Highway F. And then back on the brakes through the Barker Road interchange. We've also got a little bit of a backup, too, from 84th Street all the way through the Stadium interchange. And on the bypass, heading westbound from 27th Street all the way to about 68th is where we're seeing some delays. I'm Debbie Lazago with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
It's okay.
Right here.
Thank you for taking Johnny Cab.
Sunny and mild today with a high of 68 degrees, 73 your high temp inland, and low down to 53 tonight under mainly clear skies. Next chance for rain. Actually, now they're saying Saturday night rain is possible and a chance of showers on Sunday. Saturday's high 62, 58 on Sunday for your high temperature. Why you keep looking at me? It's just a great movie.
I know. Total Recall.
Back and front. On the issue of the hurricane today, looks like, I'm just taking a look at the radar, Milton is out entirely, right, over the Atlantic? Am I seeing that right?
It's moved on. Maybe just tiny. Yep, nope, it's all the way across now.
So that's the good news. What's done is done, but exactly what is that? We're going to check in with CBS News correspondent Peter King, who is in Florida. We'll talk with him live coming up just after 8 o'clock. Tampa, it appears, was spared the worst and most dire predictions. The eye made landfall at Sarasota, which is maybe an hour south at most of Tampa?
What's fascinating is that Jim Ryan told us because of the rotation of the hurricane, and since it came south of Tampa, it actually sucked water out of the bay rather than swelling it with more water.
So that's the good news there in Tampa, but we'll get a full assessment of the entire state of Florida. Twisters were a big problem ahead of the storm making landfall, and we'll do all of that just after 8 o'clock this morning. Sports up next.
Sometimes people change, and not always for the better. Take Senator Tammy Baldwin. What happened? She's been in D.C. for 25 years. Extreme left-wing groups have showered her with campaign cash, and now she's siding with them. Baldwin supported puberty blockers and sex change surgeries for minor children in Wisconsin. That's extreme. And Baldwin supports forcing women's domestic violence shelters in Wisconsin to admit biological men who claim to identify as women, making survivors of domestic violence sleep in the same building as men. That's just cruel. Tammy Baldwin used to share our values, but a quarter century in Washington has made her just too extreme for Wisconsin. Senate Leadership Fund paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. www.senateleadershipfund.org.
WTMJ's Vince Vitrano for Connect Chiropractic. Got a question not that long ago on the text line. Somebody wanted to know if my team over there treats neuropathy. Indeed. Just talking with Dr. Alex about that. Numbness, tingling in the hands, arms, feet, or fibromyalgia. both nervous system issues that can be corrected with regular chiropractic care. Now, for me, it was back, neck, shoulder, all feeling so much better since I started in care with Connect Chiropractic. And no worries about twisting, cracking, and popping. The docs all use a special tool that's pain-free and effective to make your adjustments. You can go see them in Delafield and Wauwatosa, or get started now at Go Connect Chiro. That's GoConnectChiro.com.
Time for an update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports Desk.
Packers wide receiver Romeo Doubs back practicing with the team this week following last week's one-game suspension. Doubs reportedly upset with how he's being used in the offense. Skipped a couple of days of practice, at least publicly. Head coach Matt LaFleur striking an empathetic tone.
They all have their own wants, but how does it fit within the confines of the team's wants? And ultimately, we're in the business of winning, and you got to wrap your own desires under that team-first mentality.
LaFleur and the team very much looking to move on, but this is not fully resolved. I can't wait to talk to Tausch about this. Doubs did not make himself available to reporters in the locker room Wednesday, which, again, I'm not asking you to feel sorry about the reporters. They all got paid whether Doubs was there or not. What I'm saying is he kind of left his teammates out there to then have to answer questions about it. And you listen to how strained this answer is from wide receiver Christian Watson, who is his friend.
It's a mentally taxing business. There's a lot going on. We all have our, own individual goals. So, you really never will truly know what somebody's thinking, and I'll never want to, talk down on anyone's mental health. So, if I don't really still know, the exact, specifics of the situation, but
Watson doesn't want to be talking about this, right?
Come on, how's your ankle?
Right.
That's
Which
he did talk about.
He did say he does hope to play this week, but you kind of hear him even when he was speaking there. Unsure of how he was supposed to characterize this. He mentions the mental health thing, but then you kind of see him pull back. And it's like, if that was the thing, he doesn't know what he can say, what he can share. Either way, Doubs needs to come out and own this. And until he does, the team's not going to fully move on from that distraction.
Playoff baseball. This soundbite from a Phillies fan to 69 News will tell you who won the Phillies-Mets game.
And I want everyone gone. I want the bartenders gone. I want Xfinity gone. I want my best friend gone. I want them all gone. This is bullcrap.
That was a Phillies
Otherwise,
fan.
how was the game?
So Mets win, and now they move on as we knew they would. They're now in the NLCS. The Dodgers, Tigers, and Yankees all with W's on Wednesday as well. Atlanta Falcons taking a shot randomly. Speaking of Milton, the Weather Channel has this reporter in Sarasota using the Falcons as a reason to explain an analogy.
You might still be in the eye right now. There's a lot more to go. I think back to, the Atlanta Falcons first half Super Bowl winner. We know what happened to the second half when the Patriots came back to life. So do not sleep on the second half of Milton, and we're definitely concerned now.
What the Falcons do to you, guy?
I wonder if you know what that sounded like to me, like a Falcons fan who's still not over it.
Still dealing with it.
Remember that time when we won the Super Bowl, but then we didn't because we played the second half?
Posted on X, LeBron James questioned this. Can someone please explain to me why we're getting on a plane and heading to Milwaukee for one preseason game? ? Exclamation point, question mark. That's what he posted. Well, the Lakers play the Bucks tonight. You can hear it right here on WTMJ. Apparently, he doesn't want to be here.
Because that's what the preseason. Don't you go to places and play games?
I don't think there are any Laker home games in the preseason this year because of work being done in their arena. So I think he's just venting, or maybe
what a tremendous. I feel so badly for you having to get on your chartered airplane and come here to Milwaukee and stay at the Pfister or wherever they still have the Trade. And
must be tough.
That really sucks, man. Now your son's there with you, family trip. That's awful, especially here in Milwaukee.
ESPN Wisconsin's Mark Tauscher for Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Get the look you want for your home with customizable windows and doors from Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. The durability of materials gets tested. They open and close doors, latches, and shades tens of thousands of times to ensure that they last for years to come. Pella offers custom colors and innovative features like shades between the glass. Right now, get 0 interest for up to 36 months. Certain restrictions do apply. Ends October 31st. Get started today at PellaWI.com.
Inviting you to participate in the WTMJ Fall 2024 Fan Survey. Only take you about 10 minutes to fill it out. Text the word survey to the WTMJ Talk and Text line, 855-616-1620. We will send a survey link to you. And then to thank you for filling it out, we will enter you to win a package that includes a pair of Bucks tickets to the 24-25 season and an overnight stay at the Pfister. You can stay right by LeBron.
For over 6 decades, Blaine's Farm and Fleet's Toyland has made wishes come true. The magic begins again this Saturday at 7 a.m. with incredible doorbuster deals and more. Like half off select Lego sets, just $4.99. Half off Melissa and Doug boxed puzzles or rainbow cake play sets. Plus, Saturday only, be one of the first 100 people in store to get a free scratch off for $10 to $100 off your entire purchase. See store for details. Don't miss Blaine's Farm and Fleet's Toyland opening weekend. The magic begins this Saturday at 7 a.m.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee. From the Annex Wealth Management Studios, this is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
Say good morning to Debbie Lazica.
Yeah, things slowing down now westbound on 94, basically from 25th Street all the way to Mitchell Boulevard. Couple taps of the brakes just into Waukesha County, heading past Elm Grove Road. Eastbound, a little heavy from Highway 16 to Highway F. Back on the brakes through the Parker Road area. Then back on the brakes once again from 92nd Street all the way to Mitchell Boulevard. On southbound 43, looking pretty good. No delays at the moment. However, northbound 4394, right around the Plainfield curve, we've got backups all the way up to Oklahoma Avenue, so watch out for that. Also, 41 southbound slowing down from Appleton Avenue down past Capitol Drive, and then again right around the North Avenue curve to Mayfair Road. I'm Debbie Lazica with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
The forecast sponsored by Dave Drake Camp Heating. Your comfort is their family's tradition. Sunny, mild today, a high of 73. Tonight, clear sky, and yes, there's a Northern Lights opportunity tonight, perhaps a low of 53. Friday, breezy and warm, a high of 80. Saturday cools back down, a high of 62 Saturday with a chance for rain Saturday night. Sunday, chance for showers, breezy, a high of 58. Monday, same thing, chance for showers and a high of 55. Right now in Milwaukee, 52 degrees at 7:52.
Idea Man.
I think this should be one of those games that we're all raving about Jeff Hafley, raving about Erik Bilstad's guy, Xavier McKinney, as he gets another interception.
Innovator.
And a fifth straight game. McKinney has an interception again.
And Packers Hall of Famer.
We have this, we're on the video screen. You and I are kind of in normal, and old boy's head, it doesn't fit on the screen. His head's so big with that prediction.
It's time for Tausch on Wisconsin's Morning News. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin and Kohler Services.
Mark Tauscher on Wisconsin's Morning News, sponsored by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Tausch, how tough do you think it would be for us to get X on the show? Like how,
well, I think if you...
What are the channels we work through there?
I think you go through Wilde and then probably the Packers. Okay. But all I would do is send that clip from Bilstad and then constantly talking about how great he is. That usually, there's not going to be any contention with this. It's going to just be... Yeah, it's just going to be an attaboy interview. Yeah. I think everybody'd be on board with that.
Yeah, we'll throw all softballs at him, we promise. Right, no hard questions. Speaking of
I don't know.
Go ahead.
Vince, what hard balls would you throw at Xavier McKinney right now? I mean, there's plenty of Packer players and coaches that you could have good, fun conversations with. Xavier McKinney which was
that there'd be trouble in the wide receiver room because not enough guys were going to get enough touches and whatever. That should have been my Boldathon entry, dude.
If you had done that, you would actually be ahead of Bilstad.
Right,
because as I told you, because as we have said, I've played 11 years. Never, ever did I have something happen like Romeo Doubs. Wilde has covered the team for 29 years. Never, ever has this scenario played out. So for you to be that bold, and by the way, this is somebody that Jason Wilde has called the most even-keeled player he ever covered. Romeo Doubs. So when you factor all that in, even though Xavier McKinney has done something no one has ever done in the history of the Packers franchise, and Erik Bilstad called it, in essence, your prediction, had you had the conviction to do it, would have been the boldest of all bold moves because it was accurate, and it's the 10th of October.
How frustrating
That's crazy.
Is that for the receivers like Watson? Is Watson walking in, throwing a pen at him in the receivers room like, come on, man.
Hey, man.
Help me out. Now I'm answering these questions.
Yeah, I know, and that's the thing as a teammate you never want to do, and I saw that Christian did that. I hope Romeo Doubs got in front of the press yesterday. If he didn't, I think it's a huge misstep. But you don't want to be answering questions or being asked questions about another guy. When that's you, if you're the one that is doing that, you feel brutal about it. Sometimes it just happens with play on the field, and that everybody understands. But that's the last thing you want to be doing as a teammate is having reporters or fans asking you about so-and-so. And what the heck is so-and-so doing? That's where you really don't want to be, and unfortunately, that's what Romeo Doubs did to his teammates.
Yeah, he did not speak yesterday, Tausch. And again, I understand if you're going through something and you don't want to answer those tough questions, the problem with that is it then lingers into yet another day, and you're on the other side of this now. You know, like, until dude talks, that's going to be the story. When's he going to talk?
Yeah, the narrative is then told by others, and I get it. There's, he's probably not the most media. He doesn't probably love doing that. I get all of that, and you don't have to do that in normal days and times. But when you made a decision to do something like you did last week, the best way to move forward and to snuff out this story is talk to your team. Put it behind you, and then just come out and say, if you watch some of these old pros, they'll get up if there's a controversy. They'll say, I will address it now, and I am not addressing it the rest of the season. If you have a contract situation, hammer it out in spring training, hammer it out in fall camp, and say, this is what I am not talking about it again. Here's where my focus is. I'm going to finish this season. And I thought, Romeo, that would be a case yesterday, coming in, just being contrite and saying that, and then saying, that's all I'm going to talk about. This is it. We're moving forward. The story dies. And instead, that is not what's happening.
7:58 on Wisconsin's Morning News. Thanks, Tausch.
You bet, guys.
These are your business headlines from the Milwaukee Business Journal.
The Universities of Wisconsin system is getting ready to launch its search for a new chancellor at UWM as Mark Money prepares to step down from his role next year. The system is assembling a search committee ahead of Money's planned departure as chancellor in July 2025. Fans will be able to watch Milwaukee Brewers games on cable, satellite, or a streaming product after Major League Baseball takes over the team's broadcast from Bally Sports in 2025. The Brewers will keep the same on-air talent, including Brian Anderson and Bill Schroeder. A dual-concept wine-tasting bar and coffee shop is proposed in South Milwaukee for possible opening in December. The combined Virtue Coffee and Valor Wine would be on Milwaukee Avenue in South Milwaukee in a space that previously housed a martial arts business. I'm Teddy Nykel for the MilwaukeeBusinessJournal.com on 620 WTMJ.
Get the help you need Saturday morning with How To Radio. At 7, it's the WTMJ Fix-It Show with David Nason, featuring this week's guests, Olson's Outdoor Power Equipment and Capital Heating and Cooling. At 9, plan your dream vacation with the Fox World Travel Show. And at 10, get financial guidance during Money Talk. Contact Annex Wealth Management for an unbiased review of your investments at annexwealth.com. How To Radio, Saturday mornings on WTMJ.
The Milwaukee Symphony Orchestra has document imaging technology from James Imaging Systems. Director of Ticket Operations and Group Sales, Luther Gray.
James Imaging has been a wonderful partnership with the Milwaukee Symphony and just great to work with.
In what ways?
If an issue does arise, they're very prompt, polite, and professional. It makes me feel empowered because I find it very easy to resolve something.
Luther James Imaging Systems is a local business technology company that stands with their clients over the long term.
Yes, before, during, and after the sale, James Imaging is there, and they are making sure you get the full value and life of every product that you have with them.
Luther, any advice for others looking for a long-term business technology partnership?
I would tell them that James Imaging is the way to go.
Start your business technology partnership with James Imaging Systems today. It's easy to do. Call 262-781-7700 or visit jamesimaging.com. James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner.
Built Right Furniture, Leather, and Mattress.
You gotta get to Built Right today.
The Bucks preseason is here, and we can't wait for things to get started.
Lillard, step back three, straight on. Front iron, bounces high into the air and goes in. He's got that shooter's roll working.
Our coverage against the LA Lakers starts tonight at 6:30. We are your home for the Milwaukee Bucks. News Radio 620, WTMJ, Milwaukee.
8 o'clock, I'm Vince Vitrano on Wisconsin's Morning News. Thursday, October 10th, our top story. The warnings worked in the wake of Milton.
I'm Erik Bilstad, suing the schools.
I'm Debbie Laziga. Southbound 43 from Silver Spring down to Capitol Drive. Going to be a bit heavy there. Southbound 41, basically from Appleton Avenue down to about Hampton. Then again, right around the North Avenue curve to Mayfair Road. Northbound's backed up out of the Zoo interchange all the way up to just past Burleigh. We've also got delays northbound 4394 right around the Plainfield curve all the way up past Oklahoma Avenue. I'm Debbie Laziga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
Sunshine and a mild high of 73 degrees. A little bit cooler if you're by the lake. Mainly clear skies overnight. Low down to 53. Milwaukee temp right now at 54. And from the WTMJ Breaking News Center, Hurricane Milton now out over the Atlantic. Left behind, though, a path of destruction across the state of Florida. In Sarasota, near where Milton made landfall, the sheriff there, Kurt Hoffman, said the warnings worked.
I believe probably more than any other storm I've been around, our residents did heed the warning, and I think that's going to mean, less loss of life, if any.
They're saying about 16 inches of rain reported in Sarasota. Other areas leading to flooding. More than 24 tornadoes reported before Milton made landfall. That led to at least 4 people being dead.
The storm tore the roof off of Tropicana Field, the home of baseball's Tampa Bay Rays. News Nation's Ryan Bass is in St. Petersburg.
Second highest recorded wind speeds from this storm here in St. Pete, topping out at about 100 miles per hour. And it did a number on the home of the Rays here at Tropicana Field. The dome here behind me ripped to shreds from Hurricane Milton's ferocious winds that came through last night. Rays officials have told me they're still going to survey what it looks like inside.
Sending hurricane support from our state, Julie Zimmerman is the Wisconsin Regional Chief Operating Officer for the American Red Cross. And she tells WISC TV in Madison they will be anywhere they are needed.
We are helping with everything. I mean, everything from evacuation shelters with Milton to continuing to shelter and reunification efforts with Helene down, like I said, in the Carolinas right now.
Zimmerman herself among more than 60 Wisconsinites heading down south to help with hurricane support.
In Milwaukee, suing for safety in schools. The Wisconsin Institute for Law and Liberty is suing Milwaukee Public Schools for failing to provide student resource officers as required by Act 12. Associate Counsel Lauren Gruhl tells WTMJ this was driven by MPS parents like her client.
The parents want these SROs in schools, and they're the ones who are advocating for it on a local level to the people in Madison that are then passing this law.
At least 25 SROs were supposed to begin in schools in MPS starting January 1st.
One person dead, another seriously hurt in a double shooting where police say it happened about 10:30 Wednesday night, 68th and Hampton. Milwaukee's northwest side, 25-year-old killed by multiple gunshots. A second 25-year-old taken to the hospital, serious injuries. What led up to that shooting still under investigation.
Sexual misconduct allegations against an elementary school staffer. The Kenosha County Sheriff's Office is investigating allegations against a woman who works at Riverview Elementary School in Silver Lake. Now, the misconduct allegations allege that both a current and former student were involved, but that none of the incidents happened during school hours or on school property. The staffer is currently being held in custody awaiting charges.
Coming up, it's no longer 2 all-beef patties, special sauce, lettuce, cheese. Siding Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 8:04.
News is sponsored by BBC Lighting. Thousands of specialty light fixtures open Monday through Saturday.
Hi, folks. This is Hank Albert, owner of BBC Lighting. With shorter days in the forecast, brighten up now with top quality lighting and ceiling fans at unbeatable prices. At our award-winning showroom, you'll see our new display of Visual Comfort brand lighting along with their newest LED lights and ceiling fans. We carry every major brand, and our prices are the lowest. I guarantee it. If it's lampshades or repairs you need, we do all that too. There's something for everyone at BBC, including fun for the kids and our famous free popcorn. BBC is open Monday through Friday from 9 to 5 and on Saturdays from 10 to 4. We're located at 20th and St. Paul Avenue, across from Sobelman's and Bachman Furniture, all near the Potawatomi Casino. Stay safe and healthy, my friends.
In this real estate market, you need an aggressive real estate agent. Milwaukee Realty pays for client home inspections and well inspections for their buyers and sellers. That's aggressive. Ask your favorite agent if they will, and then call Milwaukee Realty.
Signing Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 8:06.
The state Supreme Court says the governor's partial veto power in our state is too extreme, but justices admit they're not sure how legally they could rein it in. Now, this comes after Governor Tony Evers used his veto power to adjust school funding. It was intended to increase the legislation school funding on an annual basis. Instead, the governor's veto power made it 400 years of increases. So there's a lawsuit. Justices appear to agree that limits are needed, but they've been grappling with where to draw the line. Court is planning a decision in the coming months.
Chicken is getting the Big Mac treatment.
Make those chicken patties. McDonald's is riffing on its popular burger offering, rolling out chicken Big Macs at restaurants across the country today. They're subbing tempura battered bird patties for beef and taking away the onions. The Wall Street Journal says it's part of a broader shift in the restaurant industry to put more chicken on menus. It's also a bid to take a bite out of business at Chick-fil-A, the third largest fast food chain by domestic sales in the country. Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News.
It's still going to come with Thousand Island dressing. Not sure how that plays on the chicken, right? It's 2 all-beef patties, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions on a sesame seed bun. So she already addressed the onions. They're out. So I guess special sauce doesn't necessarily mean it's...
It wouldn't have to be
that. It wouldn't have to be that. A special sauce could be a different special sauce. All right. Asked and answered. Good. I'm glad we got to the bottom of that. Goats are helping a Milwaukee school with landscaping and lesson plans.
At least 4 or 5 times a day, people would ask me, when are the goats getting here? When are the goats coming?
Then the goats came. 70 of them to chomp down the prairie at Milwaukee Montessori. Head of school Monica Van Aken says the kids are geeking out about the goats.
They've been here for a week, and people just stand and stare at them, and the little kids will, like the kid goats, they just bleat, and they're just adorable.
The students are learning from the animals, too.
Everything is a lesson, right? Like, what kind of species of goat do we have here? Why do farmers purchase goats? And, of course, the parts of the goat.
Jessica Ty, WTMJ News.
Siding Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 8:08.
With an ever-changing inventory, you never know what great bargains you're going to be able to find at St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores. It makes shopping fun because the best finds are the ones you had no idea you'd even come across. And when they're at thrift store prices, it feels good. And it feels even better to know you're helping us help others. Shop St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
WTMJ's Debbie Lazaga here. Fall is here, and this week, WTMJ's Home Improvement Showcase is featuring Kohler Services, the local brand you've known and trusted for 150 years. Kohler Services offers a completely personalized design and remodel of your existing bath or shower space with their Luxstone showers and walk-in baths. Either can be installed in as little as a day or two from their team of experts. In the month of October, Kohler's offering flexible financing options like no interest for 12 months on your new Kohler Luxstone shower. You'll also receive a free shower door with your purchase. Check out our Home Improvement Showcase page on WTMJ.com to learn more.
Hi, it's Rose Gray from Fox World Travel, inviting you on an unforgettable 2025 European journey. Travel in style, embrace beauty, and create memories with new friends as you visit our favorite destinations, including Ireland, Italy, Germany, France, Switzerland, Poland, Croatia, and more. Whether it's your first or your 10th time visiting Europe, you don't want to miss out on our expertly crafted group tours with Insight Vacations, Globus, or Avalon Waterways. Visit foxworldtravel.com or call 866-GO-FOX-GO. Let's explore the world together.
Whether you own a local business or a global one, you're always looking for ways to position your operation to create opportunities and move on them faster. With Bank of America, you get access to experts, award-winning insights, and business solutions so powerful, you'll make every move matter, locally and globally. Visit bankofamerica.com/banking for business to learn more. What would you like the power to do? Copyright 2024 Bank of America N.A.
Tommy! I can't wait for golf this weekend, huh, buddy? Time flies. Love you, man. Oh,
don't forget your knee brace again. We aren't in college anymore.
Moments together matter, so help protect yourself from RSV. If you're 75 or older or 60 plus with a chronic condition like asthma, COPD, heart disease, or severe diabetes, you're at higher risk of landing in the hospital from RSV, and there are no prescription RSV treatments. Check eligibility and schedule your RSV vaccine at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Update on your morning drive here with Debbie.
Yeah, we got broken down vehicles pretty much everywhere. We got basically right on 94 heading southbound, just about at Drexel. It's off on the left shoulder, so kind of in a weird spot. We've also got 894 westbound at Loomis on the right shoulder. Another one just got cleared off the Rock Freeway, so we're in good shape there. Southbound 43 delays, basically from Silver Spring down to Capitol Drive. Westbound 94 heavy from about 27th Street all the way to 35th, and then back on the brakes from Highway 100 all the way through to about Elm Grove Road. Southbound 41 heavy from before Hampton to Capitol, and then again right around the North Avenue curve to about Mayfair Road. I'm Debbie Lazago with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
Here's Storm Team forecast for today. High of 73 degrees, a little bit cooler near Lake Michigan, and a lot of sunshine, mainly clear skies. Overnight low down to 53. Right now 54 in Milwaukee.
Live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue in downtown Milwaukee, this is Wisconsin's Morning News. Here's Erik Bilstad and Vince Vitrano.
This morning, Milton out over the Atlantic made landfall as a Category 3 hurricane. I had read somewhere, that sustained winds near the point of landfall, which is where the I crosses, that turned out to be Sarasota just south of Tampa, that there were sustained winds of 120 miles an hour. And to put that in perspective, that's like an EF2 tornado, but that doesn't turn off or pass through. It just keeps blowing and blowing. There's some natural sound here from Sarasota as the storm blew ashore. Joining us live from Florida this morning, CBS News correspondent Peter King. And Peter, as the sun is rising now over Florida, what is the story this morning? Is it that it wasn't quite as bad as perhaps anticipated, or was it everything we thought?
Well, it's the former, and Governor Ron DeSantis just told us a little while ago that storm surge was actually lower than expected, so there is a little bit of good news in all of this. But that's not to downplay the impact of this storm. This is still a hugely destructive storm and a deadly one as well. Storm surge was lower, but it was still, anywhere from 8 to 10 feet, and that's still taller than you and me, I believe. So you don't want to see that wall of water coming at you, and there's going to be an awful lot of damage on the Gulf Coast. It steamed through the central part of the state as a hurricane, so there's damage and flooding inland as well. Daytona Beach, same thing. It is just left there, but we expect some damage along the coast as well.
Do we know, Peter, how long some of the floodwaters would linger? Will they stay? Will it dissipate over the day, or is it weeks?
It's really hard to tell, and those waters are going to continue to rise for the next couple of days because the rivers and lakes, they are absolutely swollen and saturated.
Talking with Peter King from CBS News. He is in Florida this morning as the hurricane is now out over the Atlantic. I thought really fascinating, and it turns out deadly, were these tornadoes, Peter, that broke out ahead of the storm, making landfall, and those were further inland.
Now, I've got to tell you, I've been here for more than 30 years, and I've never seen anything quite like this. There were dozens, I think somewhere in the neighborhood of 80 or 90 National Weather Service tornado warnings that went out yesterday. Many of them in South Florida, some of them here in Central Florida. One of those tornadoes we know is deadly. That's in St. Lucie County, where 4 people were killed yesterday. We just found that out this morning. Tornadoes, for those who are not aware, that's one of the byproducts from any hurricane because there is so much thunderstorm activity, so much electricity, so much stirring up of the atmosphere that tornadoes get spawned from these storms.
Perhaps one of the iconic images from Milton that will always be shown on television in the years and decades later will be Tropicana Field. The roof is gone.
Well, you know what? That's never going to happen at your ballpark in Milwaukee if they keep the roof open, of course. But Tropicana Field, which was supposed to be a staging area, and it's where the Tampa Bay Rays play, as you well know, the roof was blown off of that. And you know what? This building is solid, and the roof was pretty solid, and that should give you an idea of just how strong these winds were. Yeah, you said 120 miles per hour, and that is nothing to sneeze at. Fortunately, it was supposed to be used as a staging area, but nobody was in there at the time, so nobody was hurt in there. I shouldn't say nobody, but very few people were in there at the time.
Talking with Peter King from CBS News. He's live with us from Florida this morning. Peter, so many folks here in Wisconsin have ties to Florida. Either they are, snowbirds, as we call them, so they winter there in Florida, or have a place, whether it be a timeshare or place they regularly go. I'm curious for folks who live up here, how that works. Like if their home or condo or what have you has been damaged and they don't get down there right away, like what sort of happens to these properties that might be badly damaged but no one's there?
That's a really good question, and you've got to hope that those people have friends and neighbors down here that can at least give them eyeballs and let them know what's going on. But, bottom line is if these are places that they own, they've got to take responsibility for whatever happens with them. If they're timeshares, well, it's a whole different ballgame because there are management companies and such that should be dealing with that. But, either way, you want to know that your home is safe, and hopefully you've got people to keep an eye on it while you're gone.
How long are people supposed to evacuate, Peter? When are they encouraged to come back, or is it way too early to even discuss it?
Way too early right now, and for the most part, they're asking people who did evacuate to stay away while road crews clean up the roads and get rid of the debris and that kind of thing. We haven't heard of any major damage to roadways, which is a really good thing. We haven't heard anything about damage to causeways that lead to barrier islands, so that is also a good thing. As for those who stayed put, mayors and emergency managers are asking everybody to stay put, not to go out and around and let the different crews, road crews, utility crews, first responders, let them do their jobs.
Peter King live with us from CBS News this morning. Thank you, Peter.
You bet. Thanks, guys.
Thanks. I thought it was very interesting what we heard earlier. So there was a concern of a 15-foot storm surge in Tampa Bay. So because the storm, as a Category 3, hit south of Tampa, and because of the way hurricanes rotate, it actually pulled water out of the bay versus adding 10 to 15 feet onto the bay. So whether or not that caused issues also, we'll see. But it was exactly the opposite of what they were anticipating, the fact that it was actually pulling water from the bay just because of the rotation of the storm as it hit south of there.
You and I were talking about this. My daughter, who's not usually plugged into national and international news at 17, actually came home yesterday and was kind of bent out of shape over it, or like disturbed by what she was hearing or seeing. It must be social media or what.
It's gotta be
like,
TikTok.
Dad, what's going on in Florida tonight? Like, are people dying tonight in Florida? Like right now? I'm like, it's not good. We talked a little bit about the tornadoes that had already struck and like what that's like to ride out a hurricane, but wondered if that, how that was reaching her.
I would say it's TikTok times whatever. I think you're seeing more and more content and news content being put on TikTok all the time. I mean, that's clearly how they're seeing that. And I think that's kind of neat, actually, that she's hearing about things she wouldn't have heard about otherwise.
And cared and was engaged and thought to ask and follow up for more information.
As of now, 4 dead confirmed that is being reported. Who knows if that number will go up, but as of now, 4.
And that's as a result of the tornadoes earlier that we talked about with Peter there in St. Lucie County. And for those of you who do have connections to Florida, if you have family there, you have a place there, or spots that you typically visit, definitely thinking of all of you this morning and hope everything turns out okay. 8:20 on Wisconsin's Morning News. Go ahead with the traffic, Debbie.
All right. Alrighty, eastbound on 94 got backups out of the Zoo Interchange all the way to 35th. The westbound side, flip it, got from 35th Street to Mitchell Boulevard. We've got southbound 43 as well, heavy from Silver Spring all the way down to Capitol Drive. Southbound 41's just a little bit tight around the North Avenue curve. Northbound slowing down from Blue Mound Road up past Watertown Plank Road. By the way, westbound 94 also seeing delays from Highway 100 all the way to about Elm Grove Road in Waukesha County. I'm Debbie Lazago with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
Be our eyes on the road. See something out there that I should know about?
There was an incident on Blue Mountain Road going eastbound where 2 lanes are blocked.
Call me, Debbie Lazaga, at the Hall Volkswagen Traffic Tip Line at 414-238-9329.
Hi, Debbie, Michael. I-94 eastbound. There is a crash that the sheriff now has the right lane blocked.
The drive affects you. Why not be part of it? Give me a call, 414-238-9329.
WTMJ's Erik Bilstad here. The fall is starting to set in. We have that one warm day coming, but then it's going to start to cool down, and you're going to start to feel it. You're going to feel those aches and pains even more, and you're going to feel those joints just barking at you, especially at night when you're trying to sleep. There are ways to fix this issue, and you don't need to just dose yourself up with medication all the time or get a steroid shot or anything like that or have surgery. It's QC Kinetics, and it's real lasting relief from QC Kinetics. The time is now. You can reduce the inflammation and get mobility back. Most importantly, you can get your life back. So here's what you do. You call QC Kinetics today. QC Kinetics, here's the phone number, 414-285-3474. Real easy to set an appointment in Mequon or in Greenfield and talk to the local folks there, the local clinicians who can walk you through what this is like and what it can do for you. 414-285-3474. 414-285-3474. No surgery and best of all, no downtime from QC Kinetics.
When is the last time you paid less but got more in return? It happens every day if you or a loved one has Medicare Advantage. $0 copays and an average of $2,500 less out-of-pocket annually, but more benefits like dental, hearing, and vision. More prevention and screenings to keep people healthy. More care for less money. No wonder 33 million seniors choose Medicare Advantage. Visit MedicareAdvantageMajority.org to learn more. Paid for by Medicare Advantage Majority.
Any exterior remodeling company can give you a lot of good reasons to get a new roof, siding, windows and doors, or masonry work. Aesthetic appeal alone or just resale value help it all make sense. But I'm compelled to continue to tell you what sets Semper Fi apart from the rest. What you're going to get from Semper Fi is a reputation that is backed by an undeniable stack of proof that we are who we say we are. Our character is guided by a level of trust and accountability which not only holds our teams together, but also keeps our reputation intact. And ultimately, that means leaving you satisfied. So when you're about to make that big investment in your home, isn't that what you want? This is Brad Youngluth with Semper Fi Roofing and Exteriors, your local, veteran-owned and operated exterior remodeling company. For your new roof, siding, window and door installation, or masonry work, you can count on Semper Fi to keep you safe, warm, and dry.
We keep you safe, warm, and dry. Semper Fi.
All right, admit it. We all do it from time to time. Probably not proud of it, but everybody does this. Talk a little bit about folks behind their backs. Now, this is where Erik says he never does
everybody?
that. Everybody? Right. Get out of here.
I don't know if everybody does this, Vince,
yes,
but go ahead.
Everybody does it. Yes, you do.
Interesting.
Listening right now in your car. Yes, you do. Might be doing it right now. I'm interrupting you from bagging on your brother or whatever is happening there.
Just keep telling yourself this, Vince. Make
folks
yourself
over
feel a
at
little
work.
bit better about it.
So typically you talk about it and then you don't want, obviously, the person whom you're bagging on to find out that you were talking about
Sure,
them, right?
of course.
But that happens sometimes. And then it creates maybe sort of an awkward reconnection when you then have to go again and work with that person or talk to that person
or try
or
to be their friend again.
Right, because you know they know that you were talking. So it's in that context that I find this call Wednesday between President Biden and Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu so fascinating. More on that in a moment. First, the content of the call. As I mentioned the other day, and this is very serious, still lingering amid the rising tensions in the Middle East, is Israel's response to a direct attack from Iran. Remember, Iran rained missiles down on Tel Aviv, Haifa, other major cities in Israel. That's more than a week ago. You know Israel will respond.
And we will know when they are responding.
Right. And
there will be no question.
That response is imminent. What's it going to be? So we don't know at this point. The U.S. continues to urge restraint, as it typically does. Yeah. Karen Travers from ABC News is at the White House.
President Biden and Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu spoke for 30 minutes by phone Thursday. White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre on their call.
It was 30 minutes long. It was direct. It was productive.
Jean-Pierre wouldn't give specific details about what the two leaders spoke about in their first phone call since late August. She did note that the U.S. and Israeli governments have been in close contact since Iran's attack on Israel last week.
Those discussions continued with the president and the prime minister.
Karen Travers, ABC News, the White House.
So what's any of this got to do with all the stuff I just said about talking behind people's back? So you heard Karen report there. It's the first call between the two leaders since August. It is also the first since this was just reported that President Biden speaks not so kindly about Prime Minister Netanyahu when he's behind closed doors talking with staff.
Furious with Netanyahu. And he says to an aide, quote, that son of a, you can read it on there, Bibi Netanyahu, he's a bad guy. He's a bad effing guy. He doesn't give a about Hamas. He gives a blank only about himself. He's an effing liar. 18 out of 19 people who work for him are effing liars.
I don't get that part at the end. It almost sounds like a commercial. 18 out of 19 doctors hate Netanyahu.
You can almost hear it ramping up, the cadence. He's a bad guy. He's a bad guy. Yeah, 18 out of 19 guys, right? It's just like he's crescendoing in this rant. Well, he's got to get on the phone with him. There's no way Netanyahu doesn't know about that. That was CNN, I should back up, reporting on the new book by journalist Bob Woodward, which is due out next week. The book is called War. And Woodward reporting that was a quote from the president as he continues to deal with the prime minister. It was all over the news for a couple of days, had to get back to Netanyahu.
So you think he cares about that? You think Bibi really cares?
I don't know that he cares, but also you don't want to hear that this guy with whom you have to do business and claim to the world that we have a close relationship, we are allies, whatever. That's what he says about you? Effing liar? Bad effing guy? 18 out of 19 people around him?
I love the specificity of that. It's not even 19 out of 20, but 18 out of 19.
So is that how you start the call if you're Netanyahu?
Well, how would you advise the president?
Well, I want to do Netanyahu first.
You make a joke out of it?
Yes. Hello, Mr. President. I'm curious who the 19th is.
Yeah, which one likes me?
Which one of the guys is not an effing liar that works with me? If I were advising the president, it would have to be like, look, for sure he's heard about this, and you got more important things to worry about over name calling in the background. So like, probably clear the air right away and be like, you probably heard about this. Sorry about that. I was hot this one day. No big deal. Let's get on to business. No, but I would address it. Would you not? Are you just saying you're going to let that thing sit out there?
But why let quote unquote media entities or the papers quote unquote dictate how you're going to have a relationship with another foreign official?
Well, right, but you can't unring the bell. It's out there.
Yeah, I suppose. I just don't. I certainly hope they have better things to talk about.
Sure. Okay, we'll put it in context of work. You found out, whatever, one of our managers or whatever. Let's put it on Spalding.
Okay.
Okay. That I tell you, hey, man, Spalls was talking a blue streak about you the other day. He was mad. Bilstad, he never leaves any stuff. He doesn't write anything for the web. It's all gone.
Yeah.
That effing Bilstad, effing this.
18 out of 19
18 out of 19 people who work here hate Bilstad. Okay? And now we go upstairs at 9 o'clock, and there's Mike. Well, you have to address it.
The difference is that lives are not on the line if he's going to throw a fit over something I did or did not do.
Okay.
Yes, I would say something to him. You're right. I'd be like, hey, so
got to get it out.
Which person do you not like?
No, but you know what? I know you, and you're a professional, so you would just say like, hey, man, we should probably go somewhere and talk and like air this out. Like, what's going on?
What would you do?
That's what you would do. Me, I'd ignore him. Be like, no, I'm not talking to you.
Passive aggression.
Which is so
Yes.
petty and weak and lame, but that's what I would do. That's me admitting, like, I would carry a grudge.
If Biden is the first one to speak, hello, BB.
Right.
Hey, what is he saying?
Biden?
Hey.
Listen, I'm sure you heard.
Okay,
right?
that's just
and
okay.
whatever. And
All right.
let's move on and deal with more important things.
I get it.
It's still funny.
He's an effing liar. 18 out of 19 people who work for him are effing liars.
Ah, fall, crisp air, colorful leaves, and you're at the office. That's okay. Now you can make work delicious and rake in the deals, too, with delicious fall savings from Easy-Cater, the top site for ordering food for meetings from your team's favorite restaurants. Save up to $40 when you order from select restaurants exclusively on EasyCater.com. So get food for your team and save some green. Order now at EasyCater.com. Orders must be placed and received between October 7th and the 18th. Restrictions apply. See offer details.
Did you know every 3 seconds someone is a victim of identity theft? LifeLock wants to give you helpful tips to protect your identity this Cybersecurity Awareness Month. Adding multi-factor authentication, like a text with a security code, is one way to boost your security. But for comprehensive protection, trust LifeLock. LifeLock alerts you to suspicious uses of your personal info and steps in to resolve issues that arise, guaranteed or your money back. Protect yourself with a 30-day free trial at LifeLock.com. Use promo code NEWS. Terms apply.
It's a bully that will not let up until you do something about it. And the worst part is that the bullying happens when you're at your most vulnerable. You might as well have your hands tied behind your back while that bully puts one hand over your mouth and pinches your nose with the other. He'll let up, let you catch your breath, and then he'll do it again. Sleep apnea is a bully. Not long ago, we heard our friend John tell you about how his bully was stopping his breathing in his sleep over 145 times an hour. Think about what that can do to your body's organs. It's no wonder that the snowball effects of long-term obstructive sleep apnea are heart disease, stroke, even depression and anxiety. But this problem is solvable, and we have solutions, and you'll be surprised at how simple they are.
To date, Advent has solved over 40,000 breathing triangle problems. It's time to put that bully in his place. Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment, because Advent knows. When you breathe well, you live better. Results may vary.
How much does it cost to talk to Gruber Law Offices after a serious accident? It's free. Yes, free, as in it won't cost you anything to speak with us. There's never a fee until we win your case. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
8:32, I'm Vince Vitrano on Wisconsin's Morning News. Thursday, October 10th, our top story, sending hurricane support from Wisconsin.
I'm Erik Bilstad. Another school board under investigation.
I'm Debbie Lozica. Southbound 43 still going to be backed up from Silver Spring down to about Capitol Drive. Westbound is heavy on 94 from about 27th Street to Mitchell Boulevard. Eastbound's got some pockets of heavy traffic from 92nd Street all the way through the Stadium Interchange to about 35th Street. Then you're good to go into the Marquette. Eastbound on 894 also seeing delays from about 92nd Street all the way past Loomis. I'm Debbie Lozica with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
Storm team forecast for today. Sunshine and a high of 73 degrees. A little bit cooler near the lake. And a low of 53 tonight under mainly clear skies. Right now, Milwaukee at 54.
Hurricane Milton skips into Atlantic Ocean this morning. This after bringing widespread damage to Florida overnight. Now it's starting to get a look at what happened.
This city, a few miles inland and north of the point of Milton's landfall, was nonetheless blasted by 93-mile-an-hour wind gusts at the height of the storm. That has left the streets littered with palm fronds, tree limbs, and other debris, although it's impossible to know whether this debris is from Milton or was left over from Hurricane Helene 2 weeks ago.
ABC's Jim Ryan reporting from Tampa at the moment. As of now, we have heard the storm has caused 4 deaths. No word on if that number will go up.
Hurricane help is on the way from Wisconsin. Red Cross Southwest Wisconsin Executive Director Kyle Kriegel says that they began prepping and sending supplies when Milton was still a tropical storm. He's talking about the plans with WISC-TV in Madison.
We've got a lot of our supplies and volunteers down there helping right now. We've got anticipating more to go down and help in the upcoming days. We do have volunteers right now that are in the areas, to help with sheltering for those that have been evacuated for Hurricane Milton.
Kriegel says the main way to help would be to volunteer, donate blood, or make a financial contribution.
President Biden says the country's going to help Florida.
The people of Florida and all the impacted states, we've got your back. We've got your back. And Kamala and I will be there for as long as it takes to rescue, recover, and rebuild.
The president also criticizing the spread of, quote, misinformation and conspiracy theories about the storm and the government's response to Hurricane Helene. He calls those lies un-American.
The focus at MPS should be on learning, not waiting for officers to arrive on site to handle incidents that we're seeing almost daily.
That is Lauren Gruhl. She's associate counsel with the Wisconsin Institute for Law and Liberty. Will is suing Milwaukee Public Schools for failing to provide the required 25 school resource officers as mandated by Act 12. Gruhl breaks down the lawsuit for WTMJ.
They have a duty that's written into law that they need to comply with. So we're asking the court for a writ of mandamus to say this is part of the law. You have to do what you're required to do by law.
Milwaukee police received more than 3,000 calls from Milwaukee Public Schools during the last school year.
A school district in northeastern Wisconsin now under investigation. The State Department of Public Instruction reviewing the Unified School District of De Pere for a practice called 3Qing. This is where students read words using meaning, visual signs, and syntax. The state banned that practice this year. Superintendent Chris Thompson expresses his frustration at the allegations to our partner at NBC 26 TV.
It's really something that you would expect to be coming from a parent, however, not something that would be coming from a community member. It would be a parent, somebody that has a concern with the instruction being provided to their child.
A school board member has raised the issue now with the state. DPI did not give a timeline for any decision.
Time for news about your money. WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Dow Jones Industrial Average just off the opening bell is down 107 points to 42,405. S&P 500 right now at 5775. That's off 17. And the NASDAQ tumbling 75 points to 18,217. Get an honest opinion of where you are financially and where you're headed. Work with a fee-only fiduciary. Start at annexwealth.com.
Siding Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 8:37.
Traffic is sponsored by the shower remodel experts at Kohler Services, WI.com.
Upgrade to a beautiful Kohler Luxstone shower in as little as a day or two with the shower remodel experts at Kohler Services. Visit KohlerServicesWI.com today.
Coming up, this is why you don't feed the animals.
Start your weekend tonight with a free dinner at the historic Fox and Hounds Supper Club. WTMJ's John Mercure here. The Fox and Hounds is a Wisconsin treasure. With the fall colors here, the drive through the Kettle Moraine Forest to the Fox and Hounds is a must-see. So is that patio in the woods. You got to check it out. It's gorgeous. Savor a smothered sirloin steak, beef short ribs, seafood, the pecan-crusted salmon, even steak and lobster, and your second dinner is free. Desserts and those famous ice cream drinks, free too. I love the chocolate cake. Unwind with an old-fashioned, bourbon, Manhattan. Choose from 100 wines on a brand new wine list as you dine in one of those gorgeous 8 dining rooms. It's the best dining value anywhere, as your second dinner is free. The Fox and Hounds, just off Highway 167, 2 miles east of Holy Hill. Wherever you live, it's worth the drive to see the breathtaking fall colors of the Kettle Moraine. I recommend the Friday all-you-care-to-eat fish fry. It is one of the best. Go out for a free dinner tonight. Tables are open. foxandhoundsrestaurant.com.
When you walk into your bathroom, is it turn this into this? With our Sidex Creepiest Tub or Shower Contest. Enter a picture of your creepy tub or shower space at WTMJ.com for a chance to win a brand new complete tub or shower conversion installed at no cost, up to a $10,000 value. Enter your picture by texting CREEPY to the WTMJ talk and text line. It's the Creepiest Shower Contest, only here on WTMJ.
You ever noticed when you go to a state park or a nature preserve, sometimes there'll be a sign that says, like, please don't feed the animals.
The zoo,
yeah,
right? Don't feed the animals.
At the zoo.
Right.
In Washington State, a woman called 911 because her house was surrounded by more than 100 raccoons.
Kitsap County Sheriff's deputies came to her rescue after she was forced to run away in her car to escape the furry and very hungry creatures.
The creatures wouldn't leave her around or leave her alone. They would surround her, chase her. She'd had to run into her car and drive away from all of the raccoons. So many, says a DNR spokesperson to 9 News in Seattle.
They were shocked. They had never seen that many raccoons in one place.
So that's a DNR warden talking there. Here's a neighbor.
I've had several raccoons in the yard recently. My dogs have gotten in a scuffle several times with raccoons. I even had to take one of my dogs to the vet after tussling with a raccoon.
That neighbor even saying that there's a lot of carcasses because they get hit by cars in the roadway there. This is west of Seattle across the Puget Sound there. So this is a gorgeous, the terrain there, all the wooded areas, the islands and all that. So it's a wooded area, but there are obviously a bunch of houses there as well. So why are all these raccoons here?
Yeah, it's a lot too. Like the picture looks like a coon convention.
Right.
Like they were like
Everywhere.
all like summoned.
It's as if you were watching Birds, the Alfred Hitchcock movie, but it's raccoons. Like they pan around and they're everywhere.
It looks cute, though.
So what's the deal? Well, after this lady called 911 and the sheriff's department came there and all this stuff, what they explained was, she says, well, I've been feeding them for 30 years. Well, okay, that might be part of the issue. They say then the population exploded earlier this year at this point now where every one of these raccoons is expecting food every time they see this lady.
And they all told their friends.
Yes,
right,
they did.
Like, hey, you know that lady up on the hill?
Speaking
free
of that,
food.
So now they're trying to figure out how to remove them all. She said she was getting quoted at $500 a raccoon to remove them.
Oh, no.
That's expensive.
Yes.
It's not cheap to do that with squirrels either, by the way.
Right? So, so there you go. So what do? Just eventually, maybe if you stop feeding them, eventually they'll kind of...
But then they get mad. And
then
they sound like this.
Oh. Yeah, that seems like something I want to feed.
That's real coon sound?
That's a raccoon. 2 raccoons fighting.
Fantastic.
There you go.
Yeah,
not as cute
that.
there.
So, of course, as always, you know me, I love finding the reporter who has a little fun with this. Well, she did there at 9 News in NBC.
Usually, when sheriff's deputies get called to a home invasion to find some masked bandits, they're not already wearing prison stripes.
Yuck.
But in this case,
you see they're masked banded. They're the raccoons. See, they're wearing a mask.
Might have to follow up on this one to see how quickly they can get rid of all of these raccoons.
You will have to follow up.
Yeah.
You got anything else from her?
You want more?
She didn't leave it at just one pun,
I can
did
give
she?
you another one.
Among the raccoon population here in Poulsbo, word got out about the midnight all-you-can-eat buffet.
Yeah, dude. Oh, yes. Tell your friends.
Trash pandas.
Trash pandas.
Yes, I demand a follow-up on this story.
The one thing I do know...
You're on that beat.
In the homeowner's defense, if there is an animal that I think needs more assistance, it's the raccoon.
Yeah, because they don't typically do well on their own.
What are you doing? Like, what makes you think you need to feed these things?
Invite you to participate in the WTMJ Fall 2024 Fan Survey. Regrettably, I'm asking right now after that segment. Just forget you just heard all that and then fill it out. Okay, fine. Takes about 10 minutes to fill it out. We're asking for your feedback here. Participate by texting the word survey to the WTMJ Talk and Text line. It's 855-616-1620. We will send a survey link to you. And then to thank you for participating, upon completion, we'll enter you to win a package that includes a pair of Bucks tickets for the upcoming regular season and an overnight stay at the Pfister. And onward with the traffic then, Deb.
All right. Well, we do have delays on 94 eastbound from 92nd Street through the stadium interchange. A little bit tight right through the stadium on the westbound side, too. But then you're going to be hit the brakes again at the county line heading all the way towards Moreland Road. Southbound 43 backing up from Silver Spring down to Capitol Drive. Wee bit of a break on eastbound 894 right past Loomis. And we also have some delays northbound on 41 just north of Capitol Drive up to Hampton. Hey, while you're out navigating the roads as quickly and safely as possible, if you see something we should know about, call the WTMJ Hall Volkswagen Traffic Tip Line at 414-238-9329. I'm Debbie Lazago with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
Coming up. What could possibly be so funny inside the state Supreme Court?
Sometimes people change, and not always for the better. Take Senator Tammy Baldwin. What happened? She's been in D.C. for 25 years. Extreme left-wing groups have showered her with campaign cash, and now she's siding with them. Baldwin supported puberty blockers and sex change surgeries for minor children in Wisconsin. That's extreme. And Baldwin supports forcing women's domestic violence shelters in Wisconsin to admit biological men who claim to identify as women, making survivors of domestic violence sleep in the same building as men. That's just cruel. Tammy Baldwin used to share our values, but a quarter century in Washington has made her just too extreme for Wisconsin. Senate Leadership Fund paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. www.senateleadershipfund.org.
At Uline, they know going the extra mile takes hard work. For companies pushing to go further, Uline will go the distance with you. 24/7, they answer the phone to get you the shipping and industrial supplies you need. Business can move fast. Unexpected large orders, adverse weather, new safety guidelines, and changing economic trends. Uline works hard keeping 41,000 items ready to ship, minimizing detours on your way to the extra mile. Visit uline.com.
Do you have the greatest possible fire protection?
Fire sprinklers protect lives and property in your building.
Are you ensuring that your fire sprinkler system is receiving the proper care that it requires?
Just like the other systems within your building, it is essential that the fire sprinkler system be inspected, tested, and maintained.
Protect your investment and, most importantly, occupants and firefighters by incorporating a regular ITM program in your building.
For more information, visit nfsa.org.
That's nfsa.org.
It was a hoot at the state Supreme Court.
Sounded like it.
More
Hilarious.
on that in a minute, but first the actual news of the conversation. So you know how the governor of Wisconsin has the line item veto power, especially when it comes to the state budget. When the budget proposal is given to him or her, the governor is allowed to just kind of do what they will and cut out different words and different phrases and things.
It's born of a desire to allow the governor to veto portions of legislation without vetoing the whole thing. So
Right.
if there's like a budget bill, for example, is massive. It has a lot of stuff that maybe everybody agrees on. You don't want to have to send the whole budget back to be relitigated. So, all right, cross this out. Didn't like this, didn't like that.
So the state Supreme Court is hearing a lawsuit this week from what Governor Evers did, a creative use of his expansive veto power in an attempt to lock in a school funding increase for 400 years. So he was able to eliminate a hyphen and some words and a number or two and make the increase last until 24-25 instead of just until next year of 2024.
The year 24-25.
Correct.
When the voters enacted the partial veto power in 1930, they didn't envision anything like this happening.
That is attorney Scott Rose now.
In this case, the governor did not delete whole words. He selectively struck individual digits, whole words, and a dash to effectively create a new word. That's really, I think, what sets this case apart from any of this court's precedents.
So this has been discussed at nauseum for years, the idea and the ability that the governor has. And the justices all kind of agreed, hey, you're right, it's a little over the top. Here's Brian Hagedorn.
When legal scholars and others who look at what we do in our body of case law, and they think it's crazy, because it is crazy. We allow governors to unilaterally create law that has not been proposed to them at all.
And that may be true. However, what's the state Supreme Court able to do about it? Here's Justice Rebecca Dell.
I think an initial reaction from maybe anyone looking at this is, wow, right? That seems extreme. That seems like it shouldn't be able to be done. But then becomes how.
Right. So how are you supposed to respond to something that we all may agree is a little crazy, but at the same time, justices can't recreate the law. They can interpret some things, and there's already been some rulings in place previous to this case, which also has to dictate a little bit of what they do and what they say.
And if this sounds familiar, if you're as old as Erik and I are, so I'm 50 right now, this just when I started paying attention to the world, right? In the 90s, this came up. There was Governor Earl and then later Governor Thompson using this broad power that was given to Wisconsin governors. They used to call it the Vanna White veto because they used to have more power than they do right now. And they were creating new sentences based on crossing out things. So that we made a couple of changes, but we didn't do it through the courts. We did it through a pair of constitutional amendments starting in the 1990s.
Vanna White veto is defined as a budget veto that cuts phrases, letters, word fragments to create new words and sentences. In this case, however, and that's what these lawyers say the governor did. However, what about numbers? Numbers aren't really the same thing as a word or a letter, says Justice Ann Walsh-Bradley.
I think it doesn't take a constitutional expert or what they refer to as a Philadelphia lawyer. A fourth grader, or dare I say a 4-year-old, knows the difference between letters and numbers.
Yeah, the amendment says you can't strike letters. The amendment doesn't talk about digits or numbers. So they're different, says some of these justices. So what do you do in this case? Well, they'll have their writing and their opinions, and they'll make a decision on this, and that'll come out in weeks or months from now. So what's so funny?
Yes, please.
Well, so the attorney Rosnow said, look, this is a pretty clear-cut case.
Open and shut,
He
right?
believes. And he says that, hey, you know what? It should be fairly easy to write an opinion on this and crank it out pretty quickly.
I understand.
Right? That's just, here it is. Here's the Rosnow.
I understand.
Nope, that's not him, sorry.
Come on, Rosnow.
Here we go, here he is.
I think if the court were to resolve this case on just one of the two alternative grounds, it could probably write an opinion, frankly, in maybe 20 paragraphs or fewer. Under Section 10.
Have you read our opinions?
We're great at that.
Yeah. Wait, a couple of paragraphs, really?
That's good.
So they keep laughing at him. So he doubles back.
Maybe the majority opinion could be 20.
Well played.
Wait.
Did I say paragraphs? I meant pages.
Still going.
Okay. Well, how wonderful.
Thanks for making us laugh.
That sure was a good one. Yeah. Well, maybe there's something there. Like,
maybe you should have shorter opinions written.
Do you need a book and a half to say, like, yeah, we agree? Like,
To blow up on your coworker?
That's right. That's why those are so long.
Yes.
They're always calling each other out. There's little snipes.
Yes, absolutely.
So that was bipartisan laughter there.
Bipartisan laughter, you're right.
Yes.
How wonderful.
8:51 on Wisconsin's Morning News.
Hey, WTMJ's John Mercure here. Join me on Experience Wisconsin, Saturdays at 1 on WTMJ. We spin you around the state, introduce you to some super cool people. This week, it's the White Lace Inn in Door County.
All of our rooms have either a fireplace, and in some cases, wood-burning fireplaces, and many of them have whirlpools also, of which 9 have both a fireplace and a whirlpool.
And Potawatomi Casino Hotel. It's Experience Wisconsin, Saturdays right here on 620 WTMJ.
WTMJ's Erik Bilstad here. Really looking forward to today. Getting the old teeth cleaned today. It's one of my favorite things. Love getting my teeth cleaned and just feeling that stuff just perfect. Makes you smile even more. And I'm headed to Elmbrook Family Dental's brand new location. They have a brand new state-of-the-art location in Wauwatosa that they just opened up. They have 3 total, 2 of them in Brookfield. And you've heard my colleague Julia Fellow talking about this new one. So I took her advice and I'm headed there today to Elmbrook Family Dental's Wauwatosa spot. It's located on Mayfair Road, just north of Wisconsin Avenue, and there is space for you and your family as well. Elmbrook Family Dental, here's the website, elmbrookfamilydental.com. That's elmbrookfamilydental.com.
For over a century, local broadcasting has evolved with the needs of the community. We move past the stigmas of opinion journalism and bring the most relevant news online, on air, and on the go. You have trusted us with your news, sports, weather, and entertainment. Trust us to keep moving with you. Text radio to 52886 and tell Congress local broadcasting is here to stay.
Change your grocery game plan to locally owned Century Foods, home of the best meat, freshest produce, and tastiest treats. Now through Wednesday, save on 7 to 15-ounce selected varieties Rana pasta or sauce, $3.99. 64-ounce selected varieties Sunny Delight, 2 for $3. 64-ounce or 8-pack selected varieties Juicy Juice, 2 for $6. 6 to 12-count selected varieties Ice Mountain Spring Water, 2 for $5.
I am starving.
Oh no, never walk into a Century when you're hungry.
Unless it's free sample day. Ooh, pizza, yes. I'd love to try that one.
My husband thinks he can make a meal out of grocery store samples.
Need to wash this down. I think I see someone handing out samples in the liquor department.
Geez, can we focus on our list?
What's this?
It says you can win 2 tickets to Green Bay's home game against San Francisco November 24th.
Or autographed footballs, or a 4-pack of Green Bay Hall of Fame tickets.
You have to enter through Century's Facebook or Instagram.
I'll be entering this on my phone in the deli next to that cheese sample station.
I'm shopping at Century alone next time.
Enter by November 6th.
Traffic is sponsored by St. Vincent de Paul Thrift Stores.
St. Vincent de Paul Thrift Stores. Highway 100 and Layton Avenue in Greenfield. 23rd and Lincoln and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee. Great bargains and a great cause. You're gonna love it. St. Vincent de Paul Thrift Stores.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee. From the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
WTMJ forecast sponsored by Dave Dre Camp Heating, where your comfort is their family's tradition. Nice stretch here continues. Sunny and mild today with a high of 73, bit cooler near the lake. Tonight's low down to 53 with mainly clear skies. They're promising again a chance to see the northern lights, which I can never see. This never seems to work out.
Big day tonight, not just for the northern lights, but for Tesla. Tonight's the big night. Unveiling a new vehicle. We Robot.
Tesla CEO Elon Musk has called it the Cybercab, a self-driving taxi that would operate much like the rideshare service Uber does, just without any drivers.
That would allow these specialized vehicles, or who knows, maybe even passenger Teslas, to operate on this robotaxi network.
ABC's Mike Dubusky there. So the idea basically being that it's like Uber, but you just dial this up and they'll have all these Teslas kind of driving around, taking you from place to place.
The innovation that got me more interested in this, because we already have some self-driving cabs, right?
Yep. San Francisco's
was
got
this
some pilot
idea
studies.
of like a massive number of these vehicles, like a fleet that would make it super easy and convenient to use.
Enough where maybe you don't even own a vehicle. CBS News tech consultant Ian Scher.
What it really represents is possibly a change in the way we all use and own cars. The idea that we would rely on a network of self-driving taxis instead of possibly owning a car that sits in our front yards when we're not using it.
Now, this isn't going to happen tomorrow, but think about that. Okay, I'm going to run to the store quick, just check the app, bing, and all of a sudden here comes the Tesla or other vehicle. Other companies are doing this as well, looking into this, and pulls up. There you go. Jump in and get your ride that way.
Get yourself in your Johnny cab.
Minority Report, they all talked. Did I just hear Johnny cab?
Yes.
Okay.
Before Minority Report.
Yes. That was Total Recall.
Total Recall. What was it, 1990?
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Welcome to Johnny Cab. Drive.
Wait, yes.
I'm sorry, I didn't understand the direction.
You could
just drive.
You could do the whole scene.
Do you have him? Play Johnny Cab.
Where am I?
You're in a Johnny Cab.
I mean, what am I doing here?
I'm sorry. Would you please rephrase the question? Huh?
How did I get in this taxi?
The door opened. You got in.
See you at the party, Richter.
These are your business headlines.